Ooh, now I can hear things. It really just took a restart, and I have no idea why it did that. I also don't know why it took all of my nice source groups and just sorta just ungrouped them. It was like, you weren't using that, were you? Those groups that you carefully set up and named and saved. You weren't. Oh my god. Well, welcome back. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but everything seems to be functioning reasonably now. All of my usual dark background windows have turned to white backgrounds, but you know what? I'm not gonna ask too many questions right now. We're just gonna get to painting. Can't do any coffee right now. It does make my hands shake a wee little bit, and that was starting to get annoying, but I'm just having a little bit of Sprite for a little bit of sugar, because man, my energy level today. We've been having the weirdest weather out here. Just getting hammered. Why? That's gonna annoy me all day that it's not in dark mode now. What's your deal? What's your deal, OBS Live? What's your your problem? Why'd you do this to me today? Is it because we did a gaming stream last time? It was like, you're not allowed to do those. I mean, apparently. Diro Creates, I missed your follow there, sorry about that. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the Storm Chasers, also to you, Tiny Tusk, and of course, Punexpected Painting, thank you so much for that follow, man. I have to assume we already got a shout out for Punexpected Painting. Of course, I've missed a few things in the last few minutes you might have noticed. Zombie Brush Studios, it is a pleasure to see you, man. Today, I feel like I say this every day. Maybe it's just a pattern. Maybe this is just who I am. Maybe on some level I need to accept this. I'm like, oh, things have been crazy. Oh, we didn't have things ready until the last second. And, you know, you can only say that so many times before you have to take a look at yourself. You know, just look right into the mirror and say, maybe you need to make better lists. We were gonna do, I was gonna get started on some oil painting today. I remembered at the last second there was one last thing that I had to do. Made a quick decision, did a little bit of gluing on these pieces, and the plastic cement just hadn't quite set in time for me to do the priming for the Conquest Last Argument of King's oil painting. So we're gonna be doing that this week. We're going to be doing oil painting both of our weekday streams this week. We're going to be doing Conquest, we're going to be doing Battletech, because I have a Shadowhawk to finish and I have some Men-at-Arms to start. The Conquest figures I'm going to be starting up with our very own Greg the Salt Miners painting challenge. He has challenged all of us in the Discord to paint some things using a limited palette this month. So I'm going crazy, and I'm combining my practice with oil painting in with a limited palette. I think that it goes particularly well with oil painting, because you can make so many different colors, obviously, just by blending and combining that paint. So I've got 5 colors picked out, and we're going to lay into those, and I'll show you that in a minute, and then we're going to be working on some Battletech, but today we're going to be doing some acrylic painting on these here Privateer Press Warcaster Neo-Mechanika figures, working on the Iron Star Alliance paint scheme. It is good to see everybody in chat. I hope you fine folk have been having a good day. Let's get caught up here. Who we got? There, of course, is Kursala Project Dark Fox. Good to see you. White Wolf, I am indeed live. There is Data Nerd Walter's Workshop, apparently lurking in the back row. Rangonius, good to see you, man. How are things? POV, Punexpected, of course. Oh man. We got a full house tonight. Diro Creates, yeah. I'm sorry about the hiccup that we had there. It seems to be worked out at this point. And Hamburg Tack, thank you again so much for that resub. And yeah, 100%, absolutely, the professionalist of streams. Painted Ogre, how you doing today, man? Yeah, Gremlins. I'm blaming Gremlins. I'm sacrificing Mini to the streaming gods. Suicide Prinny, how you doing today, man? It's good to see you in chat. Hey, Gus Schultz, an absolute pleasure to see you, sir, and Romeo Void. I'm glad that we got the issues worked out inside of, like, the first 5 minutes. That would have been embarrassing. More embarrassing than it already was, which, to be fair, was pretty bad. Let me look. Any reason I can't get started? Forget to do anything? I don't know, let's push the button to paint some minis. Camera gonna work? The camera working? Hey, how about that? We have no 3D printer camp tonight. I do apologize about that. I still only have one AC adapter for my LEDs that works, and I have another one on the way right now. So there are things going on over in the 3D printing corner, but the camera would just be focused on a black void at the moment because I have no lights in that corner of my room without those LEDs. With only one LED power adapter right now, I opted for the light arch so that we can actually paint some things. We have to have our priorities, but that will be back Tuesday. And yeah, I got some hex thingies here. You guys want to see? Assuming my camera will focus properly. Hey, how about that? Yeah, I've been working on these hex shipping containers, and they're just so simple. I'm focused now, Kursala. Behind the times, man. I need to add one last feature to these to get them just where I want them, but they're real simple. They just have these little... And I build them with this little horizontal part right here, because that's the strongest way you can print, so you have a solid layer going across. So each of these legs is good and solid and is in no danger of breaking off because of the way it's connected. And then they have these little slots up top, and if you want to build these into a stable structure using only one file to play on, it's as easy as just taking a couple like so and kind of slot that in there. Slot that in there, and then you can build them up and out as much as you want in any direction that you care to, and they'll stick together, they won't shake apart. You can move them across the table like this. They've got a good solid flat surface on top. I'm going to have a couple more accessories to go with these, and these are going to be part of an upcoming sci-fi 28mm terrain set that I am currently working on. I hope to have more to share visually with you guys soon. These are just sort of the first completed piece. Alright, let's get this moved out of the way. Happy Man O'Coral. How you doing, man? I'm not hearing my alerts. Hang on. I should be hearing my alerts, but I'm not hearing my alerts. Alert box should be monitor and output. I really wish I knew why. You want to pick it up and shake it? You can shake it. They don't hard lock together. So if you like pick it up by one end, like you can kind of, they'll sort of fall off the bottom. But this is meant just for, like, you can take a bunch of these individual shipping containers, toss them all into a box, get to, you know, your friendly local game store wherever you're going to play, and just start connecting them up real easy into any shape and configuration that you want them to be in. And yeah, we're going to have some pieces that can go across so that you can do the, because right now, just this piece is not great for doing a cross like this, but I'm thinking about adding 2 or 3 pieces to this set so you can combine it in a few different ways into some more interesting vertical terrain. But you don't need any sort of a bookend or a foot for this, like I've seen with... There are other hex containers out there, but they all need, like, these little bookends, because otherwise, if you just take 3 hexes and put them together like this, you know, without the feet, they just kind of... they slide apart. So you need these pieces. Let's move this out of the way. I sure do wish I knew why OBS decided to just go crazy today. Because now it's not feeding me the sound for my alerts, which is pretty great. Check my Discord window here. Make sure I'm getting audio from here, which I may not be from the look of things, which would be mildly inconvenient. Alright, there we go. Move that so that I can see everything. Microphone's supposed to be on camera. Oh, yeah, let me move that back a little bit. No. Generally not. I'm just a fucking mess today for whatever reason. Now do it all in 15mm. You know what the great thing is about 3D printing? You know what the great thing is about 3D printing, Painted Ogre? Just shrink it down. If you were going to do these in 15mm using these exact files, that would actually work if you just shrunk it down by a percentage. At that point, I would print them in resin. If I were doing 15mm, I would print these in resin, because otherwise you're not going to get these details to come out. And I've got some... I like this style of mechanical door lock that I kind of designed in here, because you can see there's 2 sliding locking rods. There's a central gear mechanism. There's these 2 gears with teeth that lock into the rods. In theory, someone would, you know, plug in an opener here and twist a wheel, and it would pull these rods clunk out of place, and these doors would swing open. Of course, that doesn't happen because this is just a solid piece of plastic. That's kind of how I like my terrain pieces. This thing is fucking durable. Like, even these legs. Hang on, let me see. Grab one of my first generation ones here because it had some details on it that required to be on the bottom. But I mean, these little legs would be normally the spindliest part of this, and you'd think, oh, I'm worried about those breaking off when I go to my game store, but this is... Yes, White Wolf, I am. Who is... What was it? John Walker from Talon Games, you know, Cav Strike Ops. He said that I was like the Gallagher of wargaming. I need a big hammer and a great big plastic watermelon. I'm gonna work in some needle nose pliers and just try to rotate them out and see if I can break one of these off. So you can do it like that. If you jam a piece of metal in there and wedge it as hard as you can break one of these legs off. It can be done. See if I can just break it off from the side. Nope. Try just pushing in from the side, see if I can snap it in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna jam that into my hand if I try that anymore. The point being, you should have a damn hard time breaking these. Which, this is something I try to do with all my terrain. I've broken enough terrain at the FLGS to know that you don't want delicate pieces. They might look cool, but they're not going to be very playable. And who the hell really wants to have to babysit your terrain? I know that we do it when we take out the nice stuff, but nobody wants to. It's not a good time. Love to see you tackle 15mm minis and terrain design for 3D printing. A lot of the stuff that I've got could work for that painted ogre, and actually I do have one set of 15mm items on Thingiverse. If you go look at some of the very first things I posted, I was designing them for Cav Strike Ops. There is a system of buildable walls and gates that is designed for 15mm. Excuse me. Heavy Gear Blitz order is going to be here tomorrow. Roland, awesome. I'm looking forward to you seeing some gears that you put together. Oh, remind me on Discord, please, Roland. Remind me on Discord. I need to pull out my Jaguar and I can make those armor plates for you. That'll be like a 20-minute job. That won't be hard at all. So this is what I was going to be working on today. We're going to start on this on Tuesday. But, and it was, I left the shields off my men-at-arms, because I was like, I'm gonna paint heraldry on them, and I'm gonna do it separately, and then I was looking at it like, I don't wanna, I gotta do a bunch of these guys, so I don't want to do sub-assembly painting. I don't want to, like, have to do a bunch of assembly afterwards. I'm just gonna build it together, and I'm just gonna paint them whole. We're gonna be using oils and limited palette for Greg's monthly challenge to start on these guys. For 2 reasons. 1, because I want to paint them in oil anyway, and 2, because I think forcing myself to use a limited palette will actually help me get these guys done quicker, because I won't be confusing myself with a bunch of extra stuff. But these are Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings, Men-at-Arms for the 100 Kingdoms faction, and here we have the 3D printed bases that I finished doing up yesterday, and I can show you just the tray and bases by themselves over here. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Now, all the detail is not super duper obvious because we're looking at raw ceramic gray resin, which has an amazing way of hiding detail, particularly to a camera, until you actually get some paint put down on it. But the prints all came out pretty nice. These aren't magnetized in yet. I haven't put the magnets on. But these have little magnet sockets on the bottom so that your units can magnetize in, and then it has these little connectors for attaching your regiments together. This is the first round that I did, and these are not going to be production. These were just testing for texturing. This was a proof of concept more than anything. I wound up changing a number of things about it. Particularly, I removed some of these broader rocky textures and surfaces I was using, because I was like, I'm trying to more represent, like, a dirty field and not like a bare rock face, and I thought it wound up looking just a little funny. So I went with some more fine texture on the new one and some smaller rocks instead of broad rock faces. Dr. Rhino, good to see you, man. Welcome in. How you doing? What'd you just realize, Roland? You ordered the old metal heavy gear Blitz. Oh, you poor bastard. The new plastics are nice, too. Wait, I know some of their stuff is still in metal, but I mean, a lot of it's been moved to plastic just for general sale, hasn't it? Either way, whoopsie. I mean, the good news is that they're small enough models, them being in metal isn't that big a deal. Like, it's more of a pain in the ass when they're 28 to 35 millimeter scale figures. But just in case anybody hasn't seen it, because I just love showing it off, because I'm really happy with this little mechanism. But you got magnets in the bottoms of these bases, and you got these little puzzle pieces. You got these little puzzle piece bits right here, which I print in FDM, and they've got some magnets in them too, so you want to make a regiment out of these trays. Click, that snaps in right there. Take these two together. Come on, camera. And then just kind of bloop. Now it has a little bit of flex to it. You can kind of pull them apart and rotate them slightly, and they'll just snap back together, which is one of my favorite features. That gives them a little bit of flex this way too, without coming apart, so that if you've got like a piece of terrain, like say this is terrain you want to move up and over, you can still kind of set one tray on there, and this will flex and still stay connected instead of coming off. And then say like, okay, this tray of models over here gets killed, or you know, you remove 1, 2, 3, 4 models at a time. This tray gets removed. Well, it's as easy as hold on to this one and lift it up, pull that out, takes the connector piece with it, boom, gone. I'm really quite happy with how this has come out. But yeah, we're not going to be painting this today. We're going to get started on this on Tuesday. And I'm really, like, I did a bunch of extra texturing on this. Like, I made this little kettle helm that's on here. Hey, Sphere, how you doing, man? Can we get a shout-out, by the way, for Sphere? Sphere, you didn't tell me you streamed, man. I found that out earlier today when I saw you over on the Conquest Discord and gave you a follow. But I added some extra detail that wasn't on the last one. You might not be able to see it too closely on here, but there's like, the helmet has been dented in and has some nasty chunks taken out of the metal. The sword over here has some deep gouges and scratches on it. The base that this guy's standing on, which I'll just show you the base by itself. It's got like a steel shield, sort of half buried with a bunch of dents and gouges taken out of it. God knows what happened to the poor guy who started with this one. Either way, this is going to be a project later in the week. And yeah, the two magnets are good enough. Like, these guys, you can see it from both angles here. Let me see if I can shake one out. They're styrene, they'll be fine, right? Alright, I'm really gonna try. I'm really gonna try. Let's see if I regret it. Nope. These are solid. They'll stick right in there, and yeah, they're easy to remove. And this is just using 3mm by 1mm N52 rare earth magnets from K&J Magnetics, which, by the way, guys, I have no affiliation with K&J Magnetics. They're just the best goddamn source for rare earth magnets on the fucking planet. So if you're looking for some, that is the place to go. And then, you know, just click, clicks right down into place. Yeah, I'm starting with 100 Kingdom Sphere, and then I'm going to be working on the spires. Just digging through the starter boxes. And then after I get those two forces done up to about 1,000 points, yeah, then I think after that I'm going to try, what are they called? The Wahadrun? I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm going to go with Wahadrun. They're like orcs with a sort of Native American brave aesthetic who ride dinosaurs. But they're like the badass modern interpretation of dinosaurs, where it's like it's a velociraptor and it's got fucking feathers coming off of its little elbows and shit, and like coming off the back of its head. Like, it's so cool. They're so cool. Yeah, I'm gonna main spires, I think. By the way, I saw that new mini you posted the picture of, Walter. I can't remember what it's called. Such a great looking figure. Yeah, Kursala, like, if you were gonna start in this game, like, I'm doing core set, and I kind of want to do these humans because there are so many unique factions. And hey, I can hear my alerts again. Holy crap. Greyhame101, thank you so much for that resub. Ka-chow, he says. Ka-chow, or as we say here,
Ass crackling thunder spunk. Yeah!
The humans in
Here at Thunderhead Studio,
Conquest.
we specialize in turning your shame into
so
more
many
shame.
models. So many unpainted models. The humans in Conquest are painfully generic. And that sounds like I'm saying a bad thing, but I don't mean it in a bad way. They have surprisingly real-world inspired arms and armor for a fantasy game. Like, they look like late 14th, early 15th century reasonable European men-at-arms. And they're shockingly grounded, is what they are. And I think that there's a brilliance to this, because you look at it and you go, oh, they're just fantasy humans. And they are. They are. But the thing is that the other factions in the universe are so goddamn balls to the wall crazy that this faction is actually kind of handy as a contextual starting point. Like, you can look at the universe and be like, oh, there's these horrific, gigantic, bioengineered fucking space elves with cloned armies of mindless drones, and there's these wild, like, tribal, brave orcs riding dinosaurs into battle, and then there's just these poor assholes who I can totally sympathize with, because I'm like, I know what that armor is, I know what those arms are, I can generally contextualize what it must be like to be one of these guys, in the world, and then imagine me in this very believable sort of human faction being forced to fight against these towering, grown clone monstrosities and dinosaurs and shit. It's they wind up being just kind of this odd little artifact in the world, and I really like them. Yeah, exactly, Azri. They're kind of like the Imperial Guard, like in this universe of chaos warriors and demon princes and blah 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 blah. You're like, there's that guy with a rifle. You know him. You can easily tell exactly how strong and powerful he should be. So it gives you, it's like, in a movie when you're pitched into an insane scenario or world, it helps to have one character who's kind of like you, so you're sort of learning about the world through their eyes and sort of, like I said, just contextualizing everything from their perspective. And that's how I see the 100 Kingdoms as. They're just kind of like, there's all this crazy shit going on, and then there's you right in the middle of it. So yeah, we're definitely going to paint up some of them. The shield's just begging for some freehand work. I'm still a little bit arguing with myself about what I'm going to do there. They are, like, begging for heraldry, but I'm going to be painting my guys as just sort of mercenaries. These guys, they don't belong to a royal house or anything, and it's part of the lore they've written into the universe that the 100 Kingdoms are undergoing a, sort of an economic revolution to the effect that suddenly a lot of the peasant class and the merchant class have a lot more money and power than they ever did before, and the nobility... Hang on, focus. The nobility is losing power and influence in massive quantities. So suddenly there is this whole class of essentially mercenary men who can afford shields and armor and weapons that never could before. And they're just kind of roaming the countryside, selling their services to the highest bidder. So you can paint them like they're part of a royal lord's retinue, yeah, sure, or you can paint them like they're just a bunch of dirty mercs that your guy hired. And I'm leaning into the dirty mercs idea and kind of wondering how I'm going to do their shields with that in mind, because I don't think they would have heraldry. They might have like a unifying symbol, something kind of rough. We've been talking about that a little bit. I was just going to make something up today, but put a little bit more thought into it for Tuesday. Dweghom is your main faction. I like that the dwarves are as uniquely designed as they are for the setting. they're the one faction I looked at and I was like, I'm probably not gonna. Them and the Nords. The Nords are kind of cool. They've got like trolls and shit as their cavalry, or not as their cavalry, but as their heavy infantry, and they've got like big old Jotun frost giants as their monsters and cavalry, and they're very neat. But looking at the factions, I was like, okay, I don't want to play the dwarves. I don't want to play the Nords. I'm fine with 100 Kingdoms. I really like Spires. I fucking love the new Wahadrun. They're cool as shit. And the next few factions they have lined up look very interesting too. The Conquest interpretation of the undead is very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. But, you know, the guy says he has like 30 factions planned. I'm gonna call it right now, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to be very realistic. I don't see 30 factions happening. I've said it before, though, I would rather he have too many ideas than too few. I prefer an abundance of, a massive abundance of creativity to a dearth or lack thereof. The Old Dominion, yeah, they look cool. You could just do quarter for the shields and it would be historically... I mean, you can do... This is the fun thing about heraldry, Casino reads, is you can do almost any combination of bright colors in traditional heraldic fields. You can do a solid field with a slash, you can do quartered like a motley pattern, you can do top and bottom, you can do just side and side. Like, because if you think about the purpose of heraldry, it existed because you needed, ultimately, not just on the battlefield, but largely on the battlefield and also elsewhere, you just needed something that visually was super distinct, so that if you were a ways away, or if you were in the chaos of battle, or what have you, you could look at somebody's chest, shield, flag, and go, oh, that's Lord such and such. You could recognize it very, very quickly, so bright color, yeah. Have I shown you guys my SCA heraldry, by the way? I'm gonna have to post that up on the Discord. I have my own SCA registered heraldry, and I've considered using that too. I have considered using that. It's a green field with a gold, I don't remember what you would call it, but a gold slash going from top right to lower left, and then it has a white elephant over top of that. Well, that's the thing, Nanotanks, is you would have multiple versions of your heraldry, too. There would fundamentally be just the standard blazon, which would be your colored fields and maybe a single icon, and then you would have your more ornate coat of arms that would incorporate several different blazons, bunches of little awards, you'd have things over top of it, and you'd have crowns on it, and all kinds of crap like that. It's not actually the German name for elephant, it was a house called Helfenstein, which sounded kind of like elephant, and therefore they chose an elephant as their heraldic symbol. That really legitimately is the story of how they chose it. It sounded kind of like elephant, so they were like, do an elephant. They were a German noble house that came into being at some point in the mid-15th, early 16th century? I can't remember exactly which. They were sort of new nobility. They were awarded their nobility during the reign of the Holy Roman Empire, and they were like, what does their name sound like? Elephant? Yeah, put an elephant on it. And the elephant in question came from an old wood cutting on a piece of furniture that had been in their family since the Roman legions had been stationed up there. And those Roman legionnaires had carved an elephant into like a number of chests and stuff, because they had a history, their particular legion, those men had not fought in, but their legion had fought against the invasion of Hannibal. And so they had seen elephants, they had stories of elephants, they had sort of a tradition of I don't know what it would be. They just had, an oral tradition telling stories about their regiment fighting against war elephants. And so they carved it on a lot of things. And their version of the elephant is hilarious because it looks more like a camel. Like a big camel with a long nose kind of stuck on the face of it, because that's just kind of how they understood everything. Like, if you've never seen an elephant ever, or a picture of one, and someone just described it to you, it's kind of like how you might draw one. I'm gonna mix up my colors here a bit. And I need to pull out a little bit of my P3 coal black. Where did I leave that? There it is. Holy moly, Jow Mooney! Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. Thought they kind of settled on 16 factions known at this time. That may be true. I haven't been following the latest decisions. When I hear 30 factions, I just hear like, man, by the time you get to 15, you will have changed your mind. 16 sounds more reasonable. Still crazy. Still crazy. But it's possible? We'll see. Yeah, I know I have a mixer. Everybody's thinking right now, you've got a mixer, why don't you use it? And I'll tell you why not. I have a very good reason. Because in that moment I forgot that I have a mixer. This brush has seen better days. I guess you're for base coating only now, huh? Ahaha! Jow indeed! How you doing, man? We got anybody in chat that you would know right now? Well, I'll tell you what, Jow. If you see someone roll in, and he does periodically with the name Penisland Warrior, you know him. Who else? Who else would you know? If you see Lord Hethrir, I don't know if you ever met Hethrir, but he's from back in the hometown. And then, who else? My mod Riot's sister. I guess you wouldn't have been in the same... Because you remember, I went back to MHS, and you didn't. But I was in class with her at MHS, but you might have met her. Either way, we got a few people from the old town. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I mean, the way Games Workshop keeps changing and dividing up factions, I feel like their approach is probably smarter, though, which is develop a full faction and have it be successful and then splinter it off, as opposed to just go crazy and add in more and more and more factions. But, whatever. Whatever. As long as they're approaching the factions one at a time, I don't give a shit how many factions they say they're gonna have. As long as they're developing each one and releasing it regularly, and they started with a good number, which is nice. Machine God with 11 months of subscribing. Machine God, thank you so much for that support, man. How you doing lately? Is your stream kicking back up, buddy? Soup! Soup, he says. 11 months of soup! Yeah, sure, why not? Alright, what the fuck am I trying to do here? Highlighting. I am highlighting, and I'm using Rainy River Designs Skull Shadow? Shadow Skull? Was that the name of it? Shit, I can't remember. And those are my oil paints. How are my paints disorganized when I've spent this much time organizing them? Whee! What did I do with it, Kursala? Why don't you organize my desk for me? God. Okay, that's Burning Skull. And that's Shadow Skull. That's the one. Yeah, we're using this Rainy River Design Shadow Skull paint here. Yeah, I can imagine, Jow. You've been popping them off like it's your fucking job lately, from what I can see. Oh, let's use the mixer. Which I guess it kind of is. But that's exciting, man. How are things in the old town? I haven't been back there in fucking forever. You were working is my guess why it's... you might have a point. I'm kind of always working. Also, it might just be due to who I am as a person. Profoundly disorganized. So it's been sitting on my wet palette, and it's good and watered down, so I want to add a little bit of fresh paint in here. And then let's start putting some down. This is just our test model for the Iron Star Alliance, so I want to go ahead and get it done to see if we can make any decisions for what we want to change about it. Don't worry about that, Sphere. That's just hometown bullshit. On my way to world domination. You still got a ways to go for that one, I think, but I like where your head's at. But yeah, chat, Jow here. We've got a couple people in chat that'll be like, man, we've known each other since fucking forever ago. But I think Jow may be the first of them. May be the oldest of my friends who has stopped here on the stream. We've known each other since... Well, let me see. You could probably date it because, Jow, I'm pretty sure that we met because of Pokemon the movie. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But Pokemon the movie was out, and we were both into the cards at the time, and your family had connections to the people who ran the movie theater, and man, I wanted some of those exclusive cards. Oh yeah, and then Micah stole my bike and gave it to you. Ooh, man. Memories, huh? Yeah, 5th grade. Shit. Kick another renter's ass for having the car speakers blazing. Get it done.
Stuffed in a box.
Passing by to say hi. Thanks for the talk about Gaunt's Ghosts and Face. Oh, that was you, Terrain. Oh, shit. I never know who's who. I know people by their names here on Twitch. I know people by their names on Discord. And then on Facebook, it's like you might all be strangers as far as I'm concerned. So I'm sorry if I ever act like I don't know who you are on Facebook. It's probably just because I don't know who the fuck you are. But Terrain, yeah, dude. Well, did you see? Didn't they just announce they're releasing some? Well, you're taking off. I won't hold you, but they just announced they're releasing some Gaunt's Ghost plastics. That's pretty cool. It's only taken them the, it should have happened like a decade ago, but whatever. Take what we can get, I suppose. I wonder if they'll do some official blood pact. That'd be badass. Yeah. Yeah, Jow, I think that was actually the first time that we met. Ah, good times. Slightly weird times, but good times. Alright, let's move up the body here. Yeah, the card trading would have come after that. Saw the new minis, probably the highlight of the whole Warhammer Fest. Yeah, and it's funny because, like, over the years, as I've periodically come back to Warhammer 40k, it's always been in the context of looking for third-party models that would make suitable Gaunt's Ghosts. And now it's like, we're doing official ones. Like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll get those then. It will encourage me to get back to painting my Blood Pact. Yeah, we'll have to catch up, man. Just when I was able to say I've been GW clean for a year, Curse City and Gaunt's Ghosts, I'm still probably not gonna. Like, you know what? I have been Games Workshop free for some time now. I haven't purchased anything from them for a few years. Well, no, that's not true. I've purchased Lord of the Rings things from them. I haven't purchased anything Warhammer related from Games Workshop in a good long time now, and I don't think I'm gonna break that streak, even for Gaunt's Ghosts. Don't get me wrong, they're cool, and I'm glad they're embracing some of the Abnet verse. I think there are way worse directions they can go than embracing the Abnet verse. Well, thank you very much, Joe. Yeah, I've been working at it for a while now. I'll tell you, there's painting, and then there's painting on a camera while talking shit, and they're two different things. The talking shit part is really where the artistry lies. Snow on the drive home. It's looking like we might get some snow on Tuesday. That should be exciting. Just want the undead from Curse City, just because they're cool. They are very cool. They're they're not. That's the thing. Like, I will complain about Games Workshop anytime you give me the excuse. But one thing you will never hear me say about Games Workshop in my myriad critiques of the way they do business and the way they develop their lore is that they make bad models, because they just don't. They make probably the best damn models on the market at any given time, and that is just continues to be true. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, I wish they didn't so that I could criticize them for more things, but they just do. They have amazingly talented sculptors, they have a great production process, they have a good eye for detail, they have the sort of models that make it easy on the painter because they're designed with painters in mind. They make fantastic products. I still think they're largely overpriced, but I have a much greater problem with the way that they do business than the prices that they charge for their actual product, or the quality of it. Yeah, man. Yeah, you take it easy, Jal. Thanks for stopping in. Those of you who are not aware of what a Fonzanoon is, I can help you add a word to your vocabulary today. A Fonzanoon is someone who farts in the bathtub and then bites the bubbles. Just go ahead and add that to your repertoire of insults. I'm right now trying desperately to remember where that came from. I'm pretty sure it was a Chevy Chase movie. Which is actually a little disappointing, because Chevy Chase is a fucking douchebag. But he, you know, he did comedy for some pretty good writers for a while there. Caddyshack 2. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time. I've retained the word without the necessarily remembering where I got it from. Nobody ever expects to hear Caddyshack 2 referenced anywhere because it was Caddyshack 2. Hey, Darkheart. Pull up a seat, my friend. Take a load off. Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen. Wait, what are we talking about? The Dogmata? Wait, what's the Dogmata? Is that a model that I should know of? Worst model I've seen them make lately is the Adeptus Sororitas. Oh, are you talking about their, big mech model? Yeah, it's really dumb looking. I have more problems with just sort of the aesthetic direction that they've taken a lot of Imperium figures in lately than anything else. Like, they just... I complain about a lot of things from Games Workshop, and I make my excuses for all of them, but if I was being honest with myself and with you, I think the biggest problem that I have with Games Workshop and Warhammer 40k anymore is that I just don't like visually the direction that it's gone in at all. The Space Marines of today are not the Space Marines that I fell in love with, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't own them. They can do whatever the hell they want with their Space Marines, but I don't really want to make them anymore. I like the Gene Stealer. You know, on the other hand, they've also given us a lot of things for those of us who feel alienated by the designs. They've given us alternatives. I like the Gene Stealer Cultist figures quite a lot. I think the Sisters of Battle in general have been getting some really good designs, but yeah, that latest one, the big mech walker thing, is really pretty dumb looking. Nundum, oh my god, to square, that is, oh my god, that's terrible. What do you not understand about the Gene Stealer cults, Darkheart? Maybe we can enlighten you. Well, the Gene Stealer cultists, as they exist in an army form now, have existed in the lore for a long, long time. If anything, they actually did have their own models back in some early editions of 40k, but much like the Squats, they got kind of phased out. Unlike the Squats, they got rolled into a more modern army, and the Gene Stealers just kind of became Tyranids. They were their own thing originally. Yes, Darkheart, they are. They're their own faction, their own army, because the way that they have been sort of updated in the lore is such that they tend to operate on their own without Tyranid reinforcement for long, long periods of time before the Tyranids ever show up. They're sort of like the vanguard of the Tyranid hive fleets. They're supposed to take root on a planet and soften it up in order to essentially summon the rest of the Tyranid hive fleet once the planet is softened and prepared. Rockspace, thank you so much for the reminder. Oh. Yeah, I mean, you can think of them... Actually, they sort of serve almost the exact same purpose to the Tyranid the Chaos Cultists do to larger Chaos forces. Like a Chaos Cult can take root on a planet when there are no Chaos Marines or Chaos Invasion forces ready to go, undermine the local government, soften it up, and sort of prepare it for a Chaos Invasion. The Gene Stealer cults are the same sort of thing. They will undermine the local government. They will really undermine everything about the normal population of the planet, do everything they can to stymie Imperial intervention, and prepare the planet for a Tyranid invasion. Oh, we're babbling about Warhammer 40k, Brox, but this is a model from Warcaster Neo-Mechanika from Privateer Press. Never played it. Which one? Any of them? This one's pretty new. Yeah, I don't really do Warhammer 40k anymore. Like, I still have a bunch of it in my head because I spent years being obsessed with the lore, but I don't really, like, I don't mess with any of the new stuff for the most part. I tried a little bit when 9th edition first launched, but it just, yeah, I think I'm just kind of done with it. I'll still make little kill teams here and there out of some models I particularly like, or factions that I really like from the lore, like, I've got a pretty neat Death Guard kill team. I've got a Blood Pact kill team from the Gaunt's Ghosts Dan Abnett books. This one's pretty new. Plank Walker, welcome in. We got a seat for you, buddy. Pop a squat and have a lurk, as they say. I don't think anybody says that. That's not a saying. Don't you listen to me, Binary Solo 0011. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. I didn't say in my seat, Plank. Well, I don't own these seats. These seats are provided by Twitch, and they clean them, so I'm not really worried about it. Don't sit in my seat. My seat's for me. In the process of modeling an energy hammer for your robot hero. Brock's Base, I've been digging your renders, man. They're pretty neat. Make sure you post that up when you get it done. I'd love to see it. Y'all have seats. There are seats here? What the hell? Painted Ogre has been forced to just kind of squat on the ground up bones of his enemies that he normally uses to make bread. Like big old sacks of flour. We just don't have any seats for ogres, is our problem. As far as I know, the ADA doesn't force us to have those. Their very own whoopee cushions, yes. I call mine O'Coral. How you doing, by the way, O'Coral? How are things, man? Again, thank you so much for that resub. How is everyone today? I hope nobody's having a particularly bad one. I hope things are going well for everybody. I know Roland recently you got a job nailed down. I know that's been a fucking problem for you for a little while, man, so I was really glad to hear that. 2020, man. It was a bitch. 2021 is still a bit of a bitch, but slightly less so in some ways. Same shit, different day, as they say. Having trouble modeling a sci-fi city, though. Don't know how to go about starting one. If any of you guys are curious about the shader I use, feel free to ask whenever. I wouldn't mind knowing what your workflow is, Brox. Darkheart, thank you so much for the reminder. Got a demo of Conquest First Blood, and how'd you like it to square? The rules for Conquest are a little dense at times. I think that they've innovated some from Warhammer Fantasy, but they've brought a lot of it over, too. I like that they have that low model count skirmish version, though. What were your general impressions other than it was fun to square? I don't need like a full game analysis, but I'm just curious what you came out of it with.
When watching Thunderhead's stream, you may feel the urge to do the cha-cha, because he likes to slide it to the left, and then slide it to the right, and then hold it off screen entirely.
Haven't heard that one in a while.
Put it back on camera.
Haven't heard that voice clip in a while. It just takes practice, Data Nerd. I'm getting plenty of that. Enjoyed the alternating activation, the dynamic line of deployment, reinforcements coming in each turn is a neat concept. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the game. Like, you don't even necessarily start with any or rather all or any of your figures on the table, either for First Blood or the full-size game. You generally have to bring most of your forces on from off-table. Which is good, because, I like the deployment phase of some games, but there are definitely some games out there where, like I used to say about Rune Wars, you cannot win Rune Wars in the deployment phase. You can lose it, though. You can absolutely lose it. But Conquest sort of reads and plays, from what I can see, like it is trying and reasonably succeeding at being a true, not just copy of Warhammer Fantasy's final few editions there, which is more like Ninth Age or Kings of War. Kings of War, that's not fair. Kings of War is kind of its own game. But Ninth Age is definitely just like, hey, remember Warhammer Fantasy? We're doing that. It succeeds at being sort of a spiritual successor. Innovating while still keeping a lot of the core concepts. Sup? What's up, Chaotic Harmony? How you doing today, man? Why aren't you painting, Chaotic? Why are you here when you should be painting? Thank you so much for getting that shout out, Project Dark Fox. Guys, if you're in this channel and you're not following Chaotic Harmony, you're doing something wrong. You know that voice that people keep heckling me with? That's him. Go follow him. He is a fucking fantastic streamer. And he does some painting streams of his own you're not going to want to miss, not to mention.
There's something about Canopian catgirls that give me that warm, fuzzy feeling. Maybe it's just my allergies.
Also does some pretty amazing Battletech tabletop games on Tabletop Simulator on his channel. So if you're ever curious about learning to play some Battletech or seeing some of it go down, go check it out. Mother's Day lunch with Mom and played some 40k against my little brother. Well, that is a pretty goddamn good day from the sound of things, Chaotic. Oh yeah, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everybody, to whom that applies. I'm the worst about holidays. I really am. Painting the last bits for the store crisis suits? Wonderful.
Here at Thunderhead Studios, it's okay to be sloppy. Bonus points if it's white paint.
You know, I want to address that. Because it is okay to be sloppy. And I know, I've said it before, like, you shouldn't compare your work to anybody's but your own. Don't compare your work to anybody but yourself from the past, and that's if you want to improve. And I know that a lot of us here talk about improving our modeling and painting skills, and we continue to work to get better, and that's awesome. And that's why we posted the Storm Report, and that's why we share our work. Getting used to receiving that constructive criticism, to getting past that initial urge of the human mind to make everything about your ego and be like, oh, they don't like my paint job. The only way you can get over that is by receiving criticism regularly. But there's something to be said for relaxing a little bit, for painting sloppy, and for dropping unrealistic standards. Because I think as painters, particularly these days with access to the internet, with Instagram, with fucking Reddit, with Facebook, we can forget that we're seeing, ultimately, when you see these amazing paint jobs out there, you're seeing these tiny, tiny little subsets of the overall painting population who are sharing their work. There's so many people out there painting today who aren't sharing their work at all, and the vast majority of models are just being done up to what people consider to be tabletop standards, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how it should be. I was thinking this the other day when I was looking at some of the...
I suppose you could just go ahead and lord that paint on anything.
Is that you, O'Coral? Oh my god, that was O'Coral. How shocking.
Lines or anything.
Oh my god, we got a raid from Kingfisher Games. Thank you for coming in, man. How you doing? Welcome in. But my point in talking about this is that I want to share something kind of ironic with you, and that's... Greg the Salt Miner is the person who taught me the phrase paint sloppy. And he saw me obsessing over the quality of my paint jobs on some things, and he told me that. He's just paint sloppy. Just stop caring for a few models, just throw some fucking paint down, have a good time while you're doing it, don't worry so much, and see what happens. And you know what happened? You know what happened? I painted better. It seems crazy. It seems absolutely nuts, but it works. Because, I don't know, it's this funny kind of thing. We do this to relax, we do this to have fun, but we also get into our own heads. We put this pressure on ourselves, particularly once we start sharing. We've got to get better, we've got to get better. We're only going to get better by volume for the most part and by practice, not be obsessing over every little thing. Painted up some Marvel United tonight. Kingfisher Games, if you feel like sharing, I would love to see some of your stuff in the Storm Report that we do at the end of every stream. I don't know if you lurk here or not, if you're familiar with the bit. But all you gotta do is jump over into the Thunderhead Studio Discord, go into the channel marked Storm Report, and post up to 2 pictures of your work, and we'll take a look at it right here on stream. I would love, love, love to see what you were working on. I haven't done any Marvel United myself. I've done some Crisis Protocol. But I know Zombie Breath Studios has been doing Marvel United and having a good time. But my point really is this, if I can break it down in its most digestible format, lower your personal standards a little bit. And I know that doesn't sound good or positive, but just if you're having a problem with finishing things, if you're not on a roll right now, because some of you may just be on a roll and you're like, fuck it, I'm doing a great job. But if you're struggling right now, do me a favor and just for a few models, just drop your standards and just paint sloppy and see if you don't produce more and better. Because it's the pressure that messes us up. It's absolutely the pressure that makes it hard for ideas to flow. Only got as middling good as I am by just plowing through 100+ mechs sloppily. And you know, that's, what's the phrase? How does it go? That the master has failed more times than the amateur has even made the attempt. So just go for it. You got crazy ideas? Just go for it. Don't worry about having it be perfect. Never let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Kingfisher Games, thank you so much for that raid again, man. I hope that we can see some of your stuff in the Storm Report. I'd really like to see what you've been working on. And that's another important, more advanced step, Painted Ogre, is just always know why you're painting any given model. Everything, like if you're painting a whole army, it doesn't need to look that good unless you really, really want it to. Quantity has a quality all its own. So painting a bunch of models up to just an okay standard is going to get you a much better look than, you know, well, they're all going to look amazing, but they're going to take me a year to paint. That's no good. And I give this advice only if you need it. There are probably people out there right now who are like, no, I'm good, man. I'm painting to a super high standard, having fun. And if that's true, fucking keep doing that. This doesn't apply to you. I just know that sometimes I get jammed up and I stop producing, and more often than not, I get back on the horse by just dropping my expectations a bit, thinking less about what I'm doing, and just letting my hand do the work. Pull out a little bit of Game Color Ghost Gray here. I'm painting models so that they're painted. Does that count? That sounds like the right sort of goal to me. Pond Burn, good to see you. Welcome into chat, man. How you doing, by the way, POV? 6 photos in the report, 2 from the newest project, 2 from the... So we do limit it to 2 Kingfisher games, generally speaking. But, and that's just because it can go on for a while. But I'll tell you what, since it's your first time posting in the report, can you narrow it to 3? Can you narrow it to 1 of each of the projects? Because I'd allow you to do 3. Because I want to see your work. And also, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, since you're over there already, you can post all 6 of them into the Painting Showcase channel. There are no restrictions on that. The Storm Report is only limited because it can take a while to get through some nights. Now, let me get a touch of pure white here. Yeah, I got a little nuts there, Roland. I'm just always excited that people want to share their work. Finally got the exposure dialed in on your photon for this resin. Took you a bit, but not seeing a lot of overexposure now. Hell yeah. Which resin are you using? You may have, Roland, you may have. That's putting it mildly. Elegoo ABS-like Rapid Resin Gray. I haven't used the ABS-like. I've heard good things, but I fell in love with water washable early on, mostly because it means I don't have to handle caustic chemicals, or store them, for the most part, which is definitely nice. Work's been lame, spent yesterday with your family, so today painting stuff and GMing an RPG, so things are good. Hell yeah, man, living the dream. I'm glad to hear it. Living the dream. That nerd life. Been very happy with it. I might have to pick some up. I've been thinking about changing up my resin a little bit lately, just because now I've got, as of very recently, I've got 2 resin printers. So I can afford to kind of, you know, prototype on one while I experiment with other resins on another. Ran my Elegoo Mars 2 for the first time last night, and was very, very pleased with how quickly and how precisely it ran off my bases. That larger build plate, even just enlarging the build plate by a little bit, has a huge impact. Oh, eBay, why you gotta have such good deals on minis? You know why? You know why, Cat of Harmony? Is because you are shopping in the garden of other people's broken dreams. Every great deal that you find on eBay at one point was someone's enthusiasm for a new army project that died on the table. Most of the time. Sometimes that's not true, but most of the time it's true. Yeah, the Mars 2 has the 2K monochrome, and yeah, it's about twice as fast as my Mars 1 with the RGB.
Here at Thunderhead Studio, we specialize in turning your shame into more shame.
That's just accurate. Dark but true. The missile broadside, but that's okay. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, Cat of Harmony. You've been producing a lot lately, man. And you know, as someone who indulges in retail therapy, I'm not one to discourage people from buying new models, even if it's one of those, like, you know, sometimes we buy models just because we want to chase that endorphin rush of getting something new. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as you know that you're doing it. As long as you're not doing it without realizing it, because that can lead to spending way, way more than you mean to. But as long as you recognize that you're just like, I just want to get something new and feel good about it for a little bit, like, yeah, go for it. I just encourage that self-awareness is all. I love that feeling of buying a new army. Even if it means I'm adding more to my plate, or it's going to push other projects back, or, you know, whatever. Who gives a shit? Do what I want. Cat of Harmony is a bad influence. Cat of Harmony is a bad influence on himself. Yeah, time stop. Unfortunately, the lights over my 3D printers are powered down at the moment and are awaiting a new AC adapter for the LED light strips. And that corner of my room is just it's a black hole. I could turn the camera on, but you wouldn't see anything happening. That's why I put those lights in. I want 2 HG armies now! Well, Roland, you know, if you can afford it, man. So much of this hobby is, and you know, art in general is just a manner of managing expectations and time, and I think there's something to be said for not letting yourself buy things at certain times and so on and so forth, but I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're an adult. And like I said, as long as you understand why you're doing it, and as long as you're capable of one of the most important things I think that we can have, one of the most important skills I think that we can develop as painters, as modelers, as hobbyists, is knowing when to let go of a project, too. Knowing when to say, hey, I wanted to do this project at the time, I got so far on it, I'm never going to finish it, and let it go. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame. It just is. if you're bored with a project and you're not going to make yourself finish it, why torture yourself? Our likes and our wants shift with time. By the way, guys, did you see Studio J7 made Partner? You seeing this? You been paying attention? That dude's fucking amazing. He has a great stream, and he absolutely deserves it. He's been streaming for something like... how many years? It's more than a handful of years. And I really, really admire Studio J7 for one simple reason. First of all, he is one of the streamers that I started off watching when I first got the idea to start on Twitch. And I modeled a lot of my early content off of his. Studio J7 is a great fucking dude with a fantastic stream. And really, really friendly, really, really welcoming. He was very willing to give me advice as a streamer as long as I had meaningful questions, which I totally understand now. He gave me some real good, some real important tips, and something that he does over there that I really, really admire. And is part of the reason that I think it might have taken him the time that it did to get Partner, but he went with a slow and steady wins the race kind of approach. His content's all his. He doesn't have any sponsors, he doesn't have any gimmicks, he doesn't do stream raiders, he doesn't jump on to the latest fads, he just works on what he wants to work on. And it's not that he didn't have the goal of becoming Partner, he certainly did, he just wasn't willing to sacrifice any of what he considers to be important in the pursuit of that goal. And I admire that. And you'll notice I similarly don't really... we don't have any sponsors here at Thunderhead Studio outside of ourselves. We don't have any funny little things on the screen. We don't play Stream Raiders. We don't do any of the games or anything like that. I know a lot of people like them. They don't really do anything for me personally. So I don't mess with them. So I can already tell a few adjustments that I'm going to make moving forward on the rest of these models for this faction. A couple of slightly different color choices. I'm going to start working on the purple now. And we can worry about that later. Sounds like a speech someone would give just before they sell out. Yes, it is with that in mind that I announce that we are now an official Games Workshop stream. We will be posting and playing only Warhammer 40k, and I will paint only with Citadel paint pot. No. No. None of that. I recognize the irony of me talking about stuff like that, too, is like, you know, like I've got that problem. Like, oh yeah, I'm turning away sponsors all the time. No. I just haven't really sought any out, and I've only turned down one or two. Nothing against them, and nothing against anybody who does take sponsors. Twitch is a big umbrella with a lot of people doing a lot of different things. I just, you know, I like the simple purity of just working on what I want to work on, when I want to work on it, with what products I want to use. How's that white armor looking? Pretty decent? I'm pretty happy with it, I think. Work on the weapon and the soft parts. Mixing some of that P3 Coal Black in with our Rainy River Designs Shadow Skull. It's produced almost a slightly greenish blue, which is kind of interesting. Ooh, Stila Rebel. You lascivious, oily wench. Welcome in. Can we pretty please get a shout out for Stila Rebel? I want to talk to you guys about something. I just want to speak candidly with you for a moment, kind of about streaming. Can we do that? If that's not too gauche, if that's not classless. And it's about shoutouts. Just because I've been thinking about it lately, and I don't want to alienate anybody, but I'd rather just have this conversation a little bit before I make any kind of a decision on it. It's truthfully, I am talking right. That's very accurate. Yes. Thank you. I give a lot of shoutouts now, and I always try to keep them honest. I never shout out people that I don't know to some degree, but over time, they tend to start occupying more and more of my speaking time, which is something I'd like to move away from. But it's tricky because I've already sort of set the standard of, man, I will talk up some painters. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm slighting them because I talk about some more than others. And I think of this mainly because Stila Rebel is one of my favorite painters on Twitch. And when she shows up in chat, I want to take a moment and stop and go, holy shit, you guys, seriously, I'm not even kidding. Go give her a follow. Because she has a fantastic stream and she is an amazing painter. And particularly if you're a bit of a night owl like I am, and you're up at like, 3, 4 a.m. for, if you're in the United States and you're up around that time. Or if you're on her side of the planet, obviously you can catch her streams more easily. And I like to shout out fresh artists too, but I can't devote as much time to it. So it's just kind of a funny balance that you have to strike, is really what I'm talking about here. How do you decide who to spend more time on in shout-outs, and at what point do you look at someone that you know is a streamer and go, well, I'm not going to shout that person out? I think it's a tough question. I think it's probably best talked about a little bit. Because I think it's something that all of us face at some point. When you're new, it's easy. Hey, that person's a streamer, hey, that person paints, let's shout him out. But as time goes on, you get more and more people in, and you really want to, you have kind of a responsibility to your viewers to make sure that you're not leading them astray or putting excess enthusiasm into somebody who's maybe just starting out, who definitely needs the views, but isn't necessarily the greatest streamer. The POV42 dropping that gift sub over on Stila Rebel POV42. Thank you so much for that. Stila, you don't have to watch commercials anymore, aren't you special? I don't know. I don't really have, like, an answer for you on this subject. It's just something that I've been pondering lately. Hit the dang back button. Ah, shit. It's not really a problem that I have, because I don't really have anybody that... I'm sure those of you who are here on Twitch who even hang out in streams, even if you don't stream yourself, are familiar with the phenomenon of, the like hunter. This is not an issue that we have as much in the painting community, and thankfully it's not something I've had to deal with as much. It happens more to people who do, like, variety and gaming streams, where you got the person who, like, raids you, drops a bunch of their own emotes in chat, never participates in anything, and then fucks off, or just kind of, like, hunts for viewers, or whatever. We don't really have that problem in the painting community. We've got a bunch of really very talented people. I think that the painting community on Twitch is one of the best ones to be a part of. Well, and one of the reasons I bring an update, nerd, is because we've been talking about the shameless self-promotion channel, and again, I just like to be transparent with you guys about everything, and it's just because, I kind of always have been. We've been talking about having a role on the Discord for more active, more stream-affiliated painters and streamers. Because the self-promotion channel is, I think, a fantastic tool. I like having self-promotion channels. I like using other people's self-promotion channels. But I also totally understand that there might be some people who are just more active in the stream, more active in the community that you want to give a little bump to. And have, like, a separate channel for. So we've been talking about doing that I don't really know how we're going to implement it, or even if we're going to. It's just something that I've been pondering. Because there's like, hey, this person's a new painter and you should go give them a follow because they're real cool. And then there's, hey, this person is an amazing fucking painter, a great streamer, and a good friend. And we want to make sure they get a bump. Didn't even accept the "but the stream's paying for it" excuse. See, your mistake was asking, Chaotic. Because on the list of Thunderhead's terrible advice for the day is included, it is easier to get forgiveness than permission. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really made any kind of decision. It's just something that's been floating around in my head lately, and maybe nothing will change. Either or. It's not a big deal for me. People shout me out. I appreciate it every time and love having viewers visiting and talking to me on other people's streams. Just got on Twitch to hang out and have some fun and chat with people. They drop in while I'm painting. And see, that's a perfectly valid position too, Sphere. Because I think it's worth noting that everybody watches Twitch for different reasons, and everybody on Twitch who streams for different reasons. We have different goals. Some people start streaming because they're like, I'm gonna be a streamer. I'm gonna turn it into a career. Some people start streaming because it's like, I've got nothing better to do on Tuesday night. Let's give it a shot. Goals change with time, too. That's just it. Because of that, there's no one right answer. There's no one size fits all. But I bring it up because I think that for streamers, these are good questions to ask yourself. Like, what am I doing this for? What are my goals? Do I need to change anything to meet those goals? It's just healthy. Or maybe you're just winging it. In which case, fucking have fun. Steela and I have been talking about that, actually. We haven't done many multi-streams here. We did one a little while ago with Wandering XP, which was a lot of fun, but if I'm being honest, that turned into more of just a conversation between me and him. And I wasn't sure that it was really great content, because I wound up ignoring chat a lot of the time just to, like, chat with my buddy, and I don't like doing that to chat. We've considered doing more of that. I guess it's okay as long as I let everyone know ahead of time that that's what's going to be going on. But still. I do this for gits and shiggles. I do it for bits and subs. No, not really. You know, this is the funny thing about Twitch too, is you hear people like, I'm gonna make money on Twitch, and there are just as many videos of people going, don't do that. You're not gonna make any money on Twitch. Unless you're a fucking genius or you just get lucky. I am, in fact, very lucky in that I make a little bit of money on Twitch, but any money that comes in from Twitch, from subscriptions, gets turned right back around into paying for things for the stream, so it's really just the stream pays to improve itself. I can't imagine what more I would have to do to actually make money off of Twitch. But I also run a small business on the side, and the stream facilitates that. So that's something. I do it because broadcast... See, there we go. Yeah, Chaotic Harmony is doing it to build his broadcasting skills. But I think of this because... I thought of it because Steela came in. And because Steela is on my short list of, like, really great streamers and really great painters who you really need to check out their streams. We've all got that short list. You've all got those painters that it's like, yeah, I got a lot of good painters, but then there's this fucking guy. There's this gal. Streaming is interesting. People have made it work for themselves in a lot of different ways. There are people who make streaming work without having a face cam, which is impressive. You guys know Hootie Who Art. He's been a friend of the stream for a while. I love his stream. And he recently has transitioned to being a VTuber. We had Hootie on for our Cyberpunk Red session, so you guys have seen his face. And after that, he picked up a VTube avatar and he started doing that. And that is interesting. I don't, like, I look at it and I'm like, well, I know that this isn't something I want to do. But I'm kind of curious to understand it because a friend of mine is doing it. And clearly there's an audience for it because he became a VTuber and he started getting in with other VTubers, he started networking, he started getting rage from some of the big ones, and now he's just like, boom, 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 boom. His stream is fucking huge. He has grown immensely in the past few months. And I'm super fucking happy for him on that front. He found something that he was like, he wasn't sure if he wanted to do it, but then he started it and he loves it and he's being really, really successful at it. I would take that information, and if you're a streamer, I would just, if there's a lesson to be taken from that, it's keep trying new things. If you think you might like doing something, if there's some idea that some other streamer has done that you look at and you go, maybe that's fun, don't be afraid. Just try it. Keep trying new things, because eventually you might find something that's just like, oh, I love doing this. And then you'll get noticed for it because, damn it, you make good content when you enjoy making it. Yeah, I know the feeling, Sphere. I mean, there are, I've been fairly lucky, I believe, in the last year as far as growing in Twitch, growing our Discord community, the number of regulars that we've picked up, the fantastic artists who have sort of entered orbit around me a little bit, and that's how I look at it too, is I'm lucky enough to be this nucleus around which a number of very, very talented creators have found common purpose and common interest. I didn't make anything, I didn't create any of this, I just sort of facilitated what they were already doing. And I'm still very lucky to be a part of it. But I know painters out there here on Twitch who are much, much better than I am. Much better than I am. Who haven't seen the level of growth that I have. And clearly it has nothing to do with the quality of their paint jobs. There are some really talented people out there. Self-analysis is hard. Like, honest self-analysis. It's very, very difficult to do. Hey, 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 what's up, Riot Sister? How are we doing today?
Hello there.
That's something I'm looking forward to, Sphere, is because so many people have started here on Twitch in the last year and a half. Inside of 2020, so many people have picked up Twitch. It's crazy. And as a result, like, I myself started early 2020 in January before everything really kicked off, and I've met so many cool people. And I'm kind of waiting for the con circuit to kick off, because, man, I'd like to meet some fools. I'd like to head out to, like, TwitchCon 2022 whenever that happens and get some drinks with some of my favorite streamers if they're going to be there. That sounds like a blast. Iron Raptor and I were discussing getting together for Origins, if not this year, then next year. I think next year is going to be the con year, because everybody's still pretty shy right now, which makes sense. A lot of people have the attitude, and I totally understand it, of being like, yeah, things are opening, but I'm gonna let other people go give it a try first, and kind of see how it goes. So I think things are going to be slow getting off the ground, but once they pick momentum back up, we will all slowly emerge from our cocoons. ThunderCon 22. Goddamn, I would love to be able to host an event like that. For the shoutouts, I've been trying to make them more organic. Like, I'll ask, how was your stream? Instead of saying shoutout, and also prompts interaction. Yeah. It helps too, Steela, if you're just kind of honest about it, which is what I always try to be, which is why I'm always asking people, like, hey, what were you working on? Because I'm always curious. Golden Demons at Adepticon 22? Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the con circuit picking back up. Not the least of... that's a bad sentence. For many reasons, not the least of which being that since Thunderhead Studio and Steel Warrior Studios have kind of become a thing, we've been talking about putting together some demo kits for when Battletech starts going on at conventions, maybe providing some people with terrain or prize support and stuff like that, and that's something that I'd really like to get going, and I'd like to be able to go to some of the local conventions and bring my own stuff. That's where Hextech was born, was going to local gaming conventions, groups, and events, and being like, I want a very particular product, I want a very, very particular sort of terrain for this task. And that's where the initial concept for Hextech emerged. I know I've told the story on here of the actual specific event where I was like, I gotta make buildings so I can come back and fuck up these clanners. I think even antisocial people to Square are about to be like, yes, please, let's go. Let's go to some fucking conventions. ThunderCon 22 with stations for mini painting as well as a hate on Pacific Rim 2 theater. The irony being, though, that Pacific Rim 2 actually isn't playing in that theater. Pacific Rim 1 is playing, and then we just hate on Pacific Rim 2, but nobody really watches it. I think that's just smart Project Dark Fox. People seem to forget the fact that it's just, if we take anything from the pandemic, it should be just this one thing. If you're sick, put on a fucking mask. They've been doing it in Asia for decades, because it's just smart. Trotsky, good to see you, man. Yo, back at you. There's Seal 6 Operator. How you doing today, man? Oh yeah, thanks to Data Nerd. Have you guys seen my Thunderhead Studio mask? I love this thing. Hang on. I need a new chair. This one is really genuinely given out. And I got dog hair on it from when I took the dog out earlier. Very attractive. That's what I get for making my main color black, huh? And yeah. It's pretty cool, right? Very stylish. I don't know, not really at all, White Wolf. I got these little, I don't have it in there right now, but these little plastic things you can put inside of there and kind of hook on, and it actually prevents that pretty well. I don't know if Data Nerd has any plans on putting those up on the merch store. I don't know if people would really want them. We pretty much just got them for us. I'm waiting to hear back from a dice manufacturer about getting some dice made with the Thunderhead Studio logo on it. Again, mostly for myself. I'll probably get like a few hundred of them, and then use them as like swag and giveaway stuff. So, I don't think it would be dice on Rainy River Designs, because to my knowledge, engraving dice is not something that they're looking to expand into. It would just be like a personal thing where there's a good example of stuff that I turned the subscription money from the stream around into. Like, I'm going to use the subscription money from last month to pay for a run of dice. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to give those dice away here on the stream, more than likely. I'll keep some for myself, and then I'll give most of them away. It is... I don't try to push my merch. Like, I make it available. If you're curious, you can always hit !merch right here on the channel to get a link over to where Thunderhead Studio stuff is available. But I really just kind of use it as like prize support and swag and giveaway stuff for the most part. The idea that someone would want to wear my funny little logo on them on any given day is just, it's crazy to me. Like, I guess it's not crazy. I just like, you know what it is? It's flattering is what it is. Which is why we have it available. I just like wearing it myself. But then the Thunderhead Studio logo is a funny thing, because it doesn't just represent this venture, it also has a very personal family meaning for me. That logo, that brand, has been around in my family for a very long time, and it is related very directly to my grandfather and his experiences in World War II, and then later to the land that he purchased and developed when he got back from the war. It has overall significance to me. So when I'm wearing it, it's... I never knew my grandfather, Chris. Well, thank you so much, White Wolf. How about we do a little bit of both? I like the THS mugs. They're nice. Yeah, I like the Thunderhead Studio hoodie also, right, sister? I wear it pretty much all the time, and I'm probably going to need to get another one here pretty soon. I can't really take credit for the Thunderhead Studio brand, because I didn't come up with it. But it is fan-fucking-tastic in my opinion. Yeah, exactly, Sphere. It's like, it's just nice. It's nice to have on stuff to give away for contests and whatnot. I'm not starting a fashion trend or anything like that, you know? Repped it at Disney World. Oh, shit. If you go down there to Universal Studios, my cousin Graham still works at Ollivander's Wand Shop for the limited showings that they're doing down there. My cousin Graham used to be, if you went to Disney or Universal Studios in Florida, you would probably run into him. He was one of the actors who did Emperor Palpatine, you know, at the like big dance-off bullshit Star Wars thing they do. That was, in many times, my cousin Graham. He was Emperor Palpatine there. And then he does the Ollivander's Wand Shop shows at Universal and a number of other performance roles, but Disney lets so many people go recently, and unfortunately him among them. I'm hoping that he can get back into that once they start doing it again. The Hyperspace Hoopla, that's what it's called. Yeah, Data Nerd, you've done a fan-fucking-tastic job, all of the THS swag, and I really, really appreciate... Well, I'm glad that that silly little project provided you with some kind of meat to chew on for getting your own business started. Because that's really the good thing that's come out of it. Not that that happened because of my merch, but that it was part of the impetus for you to get started. That's great. I've said it before and I'll say it again, that may be one of the best things to come out of this stream is just the fact that me trying to motivate myself to keep painting has served to motivate other people to start their own projects, to continue their own projects, to push themselves into new areas. It is immensely humbling. That's right, now you can hit exclamation point Rainy River and get a link over to where they sell some pretty damn fine model paints that you can see being used here regularly, which is also exciting as hell. I hope that he gets called back in. I really, really do, because Graham is a great dude. And it's always a pleasure being able to see him perform there. Also, as long as he's working there, I get to, like, go to Disney for free and walk around in the little subterranean tunnels from time to time. Which, you know, in the most selfish possible way, I miss that. I got to meet Jeffrey Combs. That was something. Oh, to Square, thank you for the reminder. Twitch was my motivation to get over my fear of trying new techniques and fucking things up. Since that, my painting has improved a lot. That's fantastic to hear, Sphere, because those are stumbling blocks for those are the tricky ones, because those are stumbling blocks that a lot of people don't realize they have. Like, they look at those as just, you know, obstacles to overcome, but they don't realize that it's not really overcoming it, it's letting go of it that is going to make you improve. You have to just kind of learn to stop caring. And then watching Twitch after coming across some tabletop RPG Let's Plays on YouTube. Yeah, the tabletop RPG community on Twitch is pretty intense, too. I actually started watching Twitch because of the Day Late Gamer, who hasn't been into chat in a while, but if you like variety streamers, he's somebody you should definitely check out. He is an old friend of mine. The Day Late Gamer and I have known each other for almost as long as Zhao and I have known one another. Day Late Gamer and I have known each other for longer than Kat and I have known one another. Very, very good personal friend, and he was like, hey man, I'm streaming on Twitch. And I was like, I've never even watched Twitch, let me check it out. And of course, it was... I actually decided to start doing this before, like, lockdowns and everything kicked in. That wasn't really a motive for it. I was just like, you know, this seems fun, and people are painting on it. And then I discovered, once I started watching, I discovered Studio J7, and I was like, I want to be Studio J7 when I grow up. So, you know, here I am. Gonna bounce for now. Bedtime here. Hope you enjoy the subs from Papa Bear, and I always do Machine God. You have a fantastic night, guys, if you're not following Machine God. Speaking of people that I earnestly like to give shoutings out to, very, very talented painter and designer over there. And he plays some Mech Assault and some other fun Battletech-related games, too. Definitely give him a follow. Oh, that sounds good, Roland. Damn. Been on a Mech Warrior 5 kick lately. Have they made any changes to that recently? Because I pretty much started ignoring it like a week after it released. But I'm curious if they've made any major fix passes on that one. No, they haven't? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I know they just released it on Steam and such, so it's probably going to see another player base boost. Maybe we'll get some better mods. I started playing a game last night because they offered a free demo called Cryo Fall, I want to say. It was advertised to me because I'm a fan of RimWorld. It's kind of like RimWorld. I started playing, it's fucking nothing like RimWorld as far as I can tell, except sort of like in the setting. It reminds me of an old Sierra game called The Realm, weirdly. Which probably nobody remembers that. It was... Man, that was a long time ago. Alright, chat, how are you feeling about this paint scheme so far? I'm going to dig into the purple, which is going to be one of the last colors to really make pop. But I'm feeling pretty good about the rest of it. Oh shit, I've only got about 20 minutes to do that. Well, let's get going. Pull out a little bit of Styx Purple to do some shading with here real quick. I'm glad somebody does Crossbow Roof, because yeah, that was I played that shit in the late 90s. Not sure if I like Cryo or yet not, but they have an 8-hour demo you can play on Steam, so I'm still kind of doing that. Oh, take your time, Severe. I'm just glad to have you here, man. The Realm was one of those where, you would get the CD-ROM in the mail, and it would be oh, get 1 month free and then pay a fee. It was really early on. This was before EverQuest existed, I'm pretty sure. Because I remember when EverQuest happened after that, and I was like, whoa, this is so much cooler! Let's play this. I can still remember the first time EverQuest was described to me, and I was like, oh, that sounds just like a MUD, but with graphics. Man, I was excited to give it a shot. I enjoyed EverQuest for a long time. I played it up until the Ruins of Kunark came out. There's nothing about Ruins of Kunark that turned me off. I just got busy with other things after that. Oh man, Freelancer! Oh my god, to Square. That game has eaten so much of my time. So much of my precious youth was lost to Freelancer. great game, though. Really, really good. Alright, let's pick up some runic purple. Yeah, I used to play MUDs all the time, Crossbow Roof. I was really, really big into a number of Star Wars MUDs. I'm glad to hear it, Chaotic Harmony. Chaotic, I can't tell you how pleased I am that you have continued painting this whole time, man, because you've just been getting better and better, and you've been working more and more, and you've been getting faster and faster, and I think most importantly, it seems like you've been genuinely having fun. And dude, that's fucking awesome. That I was able to even remotely help to facilitate that is incredibly gratifying and validating. Yeah, I just got a new donation a little bit ago in from Vergatarum for Thunderhead's home for Wayward Paints, where we try to find a home for all those paints that just wind up sitting on shelves for years until one of us finally throws them away. That's a bit that I should push a little bit more right here on the stream, but guys, you guys know those paints. You know the Wayward Paints. If you've been painting for any period of time at all, you've wound up with some of them yourself. Those paints that you just know you're not going to use it. You tell yourself you hold on to it because it's still a good paint, because you're not going to get rid of something that costs you money. But on some level, you know you're never ever going to paint with that thing again. I have plenty of them myself, so what we have done here is we have started trying to find a good home for those paints, namely with the people who are just getting started in the hobby. For people who don't know the brands that we know yet, who don't know what paints they want, who are buying their first stuff like Apple Barrel at Walmart and trying to make do, who don't know why they want a good brush, who don't know why they want nice paints, who don't know what the different brands mean. We're just trying to put some paints in people's hands, make that bar to entry a little bit lower, and get more people moving in the hobby. So if you have some of those paints, if you have a Wayward Paint looking for a home, please check out the Thunderhead Home for Wayward Paint channel on the Discord and consider donating it. We will put together a kit for a newbie painter and make sure that it finds its way into the hands of somebody who's going to use it and love it. Hey, Penis Land Warrior. Dude, John was in here earlier. Yeah, he stopped in. I was like, oh shit, what's up? I was like, Jow. Is that like the only person I ever know of who's gone by the Portuguese form of John? And he's like, oh yeah, it's me. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Apparently. Oh yeah, Roland. Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen Steel Warrior Studios' new production space, but it is fucking intense. You gotta go check it out if you haven't yet. How are you doing today, warrior of the land of the penis? I've been following your brother's updates on the bees, dude. That's fucking cool. It looks like they're being pretty successful with it, too, which I'm glad to see. I know, right, Roland? Like, it's really, really inspiring. And knowing that he's in a good mood about it, too, is like, yeah, awesome, dude. That I have been able to, in my own small way, help to facilitate him moving on from a job that he disliked into something that he really wants to do is, again, very validating and gratifying. Helping someone else to live the dream, it's the least I can do. Yeah, they seem to really be taken to it. Gonna have a possible recipient for some paints at some point, letting him deal with an emergency move before, yeah, if you've got someone who you think could benefit from the Thunderhead Home for Wayward Paints program also, please do let me know. People don't necessarily have to apply. It can be a surprise if you know somebody who would really benefit from it. Already built a swarm cell means they're feeling good enough they want another queen to expand the hive. They are the Zerg. I am wretched, but I am strong. I am the future. I am Zerg. Thank you for the reminder, White Wolf. I always used to love the voice on the Infested Terrans. Hey, man. Old news doesn't mean I don't want to see it. I got 10 minutes. All right, I gotta work. Besides, we can share his happy little bees with the rest of the community. I've been also very, very lucky, and a lot of my old friends have really stepped up to support me since I've started streaming on Twitch. Heinous Land Warrior, Riot Sister, Daylight Gamer, a couple more. Y'all have been fantastic, and I really do appreciate it.
Welcome back to 50 Shades of Cold Grey.
I love this
Chapter
book.
2. And as I lay on the cold, unforgiving table, my liquid spewing out from beneath me across the polished surface, I look up to see Thunderhead shaking his head, eyes alight with disappointment as he cleans his brush.
And then on top of old friends who have stepped up to support the stream and come out and just been really, really fucking cool. So many new friends met right here on Twitch. Kursala and Data Nerd, Roland,
Welcome back to 50
Harmony.
Shades of Cold Gray, Chapter 4. Thunderhead slowly brushed up and down the leg of the miniature as I watched from the desk, my glistening paint waiting for his brush to get even more. The desire was there, he knew that, but he still kept painting that mech's crevices again and again, even after his paint ran thin. Oh, I suppose I need more paint, he said, smirking as he reached past me for another jar, dipping his brush deep inside of it while I watched in agony.
Roland, you're enough of a friend for when you say I'm a friend, I respond with shut up. Of course. And then there's this asshole. And then there's fucking Chaotic Harmony. One of the most toxic streamers on Twitch. Just can't seem to get rid of him. And Project Dark Fox. Sorry, I didn't have a complete list ready to go. I was just kind of musing. Seriously though, I think that I have been, as I said earlier, I've been lucky enough to gather one of the better communities on Twitch. And yeah, I don't know how long this whole venture is gonna last, but I'm grateful for it. A little bit of dark purple here. Alright. Makes you up a little higher. Oh, is it White Wolf? Oh, is it? Oh yes, Tiny Tusk, that's right, you're new to the stream today, so this is the first time you have been graced with the utter fucking mind-rending insanity that is 50 Shades of Cold Gray.
Welcome everyone to Thunderhead Studios, where the only rule is...
Please don't show me your genitals. Please don't.
have fun, be safe, and above all...
Don't show them to me. Don't do it. For the love of God. Don't do it. We're on the internet. We're on the World Wide Web, and I'm like, hey guys, show me pictures of things. And 90% of you, the first thing you thought of was showing me a picture of your dick. I'm letting you know, don't do it.
Do you like sexy battle mechs, sexy streamers, and sexy Solaris cheerleaders? Well, Thunderhead Stream has some of those things, and more.
If you're wondering whose voice that is our very own Chaotic Harmony. I gotta stop yelling into my mic so much. Hey, WJ, good to see you, man. How are you? Pretty happy with how this scheme has come together. Aren't many choices left to make on it. I think I've more or less nailed down the colors that I actually want to use, so the next one should go significantly faster. Happy man, oh Coral! Oh god, he's got me started saying it. I had vowed not to call him that, and now I'm just doing it. Where is my dignity? What happened to me? Oh, Coral, thank you so much for dropping that gift sub out there. WJ, enjoy the fact you no longer have to watch commercials. Now you can harass me with Chaotic Harmony's voice. And what could possibly be sweeter than that? Oh, yeah, you got me. Oh, you got me. Like, you mean the guy from Roger Wilco? He does kind of have that quality, doesn't he? The narrator from Space Quest? Oh my god, now I want Chaotic Harmony to read some of the narration lines from Space Quest. That would be amazing. Honestly, I've got more that I need to just start using them more because I keep forgetting to do it. Like, when's the last time I pushed this button, for instance?
Welcome back to 50 Shades of Cold Ray, Chapter 5. Thunderhead smiled as he held 2 brushes aloft, staring down at his workstation and me with an evil light glinting in his eyes. He put both sets of bristles into the Glorby fluids, chuckling to himself as he did so. Looks like it's time for 2 brushes, 1 paint pot.
I say I want Chaotic Harmony to read more things, and then he reminds me that that is a dangerous proposition.
When watching Thunderhead stream, you may feel the urge to do the cha-cha, because he likes to slide it to the left, and then slide it to the right, and then hold it off screen entirely. Come on, Thunderhead, put it back on camera.
You do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. That is apparently what it's all about. I think maybe my camera mount got shifted slightly, because I haven't really had any issues with going off camera for a long time. And if the day I did, maybe I bumped it or something else silly like that. Oh, you just haven't been here to correct me. Data Nerd, thank you so much for the reminder. I can't believe I never did get the "you make my drink taste like blood" up, but of course we do have.
I never thought that I would say this. But I'm glad to see you. Very glad.
That dude, I swear to God, that's my favorite performance in that movie. It is just about time for the Storm Report. I want to finish 1 or 2 details here, and we will roll right over into that. Very glad. Oh, it's always good to see you, WJ. WJ, you've got to be one of those in the elite crew of individuals who've really been with us here on the stream since the beginning. I think there are few things as gratifying as a streamer as developing regulars. And this is another department where I've been quite blessed. Yeah, but who has any real sense of time? Steely, you like it? I'm glad you do. Because the purple is really kind of necessary, I think, for the yellow to work all over the figure. It just needed a little something extra. And that purple and gold are just such a good combination. Alright, we're nearly done. I'm going to do one thing, and then I'm going to call this guy good for the moment, barring one or two finishing touches. I'll be able to take some pictures of him later tonight, and then get started on the rest of his squad. That's a good question, WJ. I'm not sure. What is the first thing you remember me doing on stream? Like, the first project you remember me working on? Painting a 3D printed mech? You could probably look it up. It really is. It really is, Steela. Really, the friends that I've made here on Twitch are the greatest reward. God, that sounds so fucking corny. It's not my fault that it's true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the first thing I did on stream was paint a 3D printed mech. I believe I was working on my Eridani light horse when the stream actually began. Alright, now, there's more I could do to this model. And there's probably more I will do. And there's going to be some refinement, but this guy is really just the tester scheme for the rest of the Force. So, you know what's oh my god, I just had a good idea. I just had a good idea. You know what my BRB screen should be? I should set up a camera, point it into my light box, with my turntable going, so I can take whatever mini I'm working on, and put it on the turntable, and then hit BRB. That's a fucking great idea, and I'm gonna do that. But in the meantime, let's just have a look at this guy. As the tester for a scheme that I can... Well, I'll still do it, I'll just have to call it the zombie cam in that case. But here's the tester for the Iron Star Alliance scheme that is going to be applied to the rest of the Force. What do you think? Yes, Data Nerd, actually, if you felt like doing that, that would be thoroughly appreciated. How you doing, Rogue? Southbound Metalhead, very kind of you to say. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I might throw a couple of pin washes in here to darken some of the shadows and bring out a couple of the details that the airbrushing didn't really leave. But I think that this is going to be a good scheme. I'm going to have to apply it to some larger figures like these big old Warjacks, for instance. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a good looking Force. There we go. Yeah, record the stream. I have evidence that I came up with it first. So when I take Zombie Brush to court, I'll have something to fall back on. Looks like Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. You know what? I'll take it. The Frieza Force. I particularly think that the color of the base was a good choice for this, because it really contrasts with basically everything I have going on with the model, but then the yellow gets to be the repeated color. Alright. I'm feeling pretty good about that figure. I'm going to put up my BRB screen for 1 second. I got to take a quick bio break, and we're going to roll right into the Storm Report, gents. I apologize for the lack of a camera on the BRB screen. Again, I don't have lights on my 3D printer right now, so I'll try to make this short so you're not too bored. 1 second. Jesus Christ. Matt Yee the other day on his stream took off his painting glove right up in the camera really, really slow, and it was so gross. Like, focused on the hand sweat. Just try to make everybody in chat as uncomfortable as possible. Oh, come on. Come on, camera. Focus. Focus on my face. You know you want to. I'll just make you. I'll make you do it since you're not going to. I'm not this blurry in real life. I swears. There we go. That's better. Alright, let me get Discord pulled up here. And let's take a look at what everybody has been posting since the last stream. Ooh, looks like we got a busy one today. Alright, let's get going then.
Alright, locusts and gentlemechs, get ready to feast your eyes on glor paint and wet palates with the occasional culinary atrocity thrown in on tonight's Storm Report, brought to you by viewers like you.
That awkward space for the camera that isn't working. Let's just make that go away. Boop. There we go. All better. Thunderbolt! With a rack 5! Ho! As one says. Well, yeah, there is in fact a price for redeeming Hydrate so often. Alright. Up first, we have some stuff here from Kursala. Some recently finished models for Poena Studios Backlog Blitz she's hosting this month. I saw that over on the Everything Battletech server. First up is a handful of models that have clearly been out in the sun and sand a bit too long. They're all different base colors, but then have been stippled over with a very generous helping of rust-colored paint and glazed a few times with a 50-50 blend of Rainy River Designs Onyx and Rainy River Designs Sterling Luster, which is metallic silver. I did the Valkyrie first, and I liked it so much I decided to make him some friends. Kursala. Why? Is because I'm fucking terrible at giving you people things to spend your points on. That's the why. Oh, these have come together nice. I like the basing, particularly on this guy. Kursala, what did you use for this? The scaling on it is very, very nice. Like, I can picture myself being a little 6mm dude in this kind of rough desert environment. Just some spackle, very, very effective. It's the tricky thing about making bases with too much detail on them for mechs in 3D printing. I've got a couple of styles I've been kind of waiting on releasing and testing, and the tricky thing is if you're not making the base sort of bespoke for the individual mech, you've got to leave a lot of foot space because some mechs on bases occupy like 60% of the available space. And it can be a little bit of a pain, but when you're doing something bespoke like this, where you can make it around the specific mech that's going on it, you can do a lot of this really nice raised stuff. This came out wonderfully, and look at those awesome looking tanks. That's a lot of missiles. It's a lot of missiles right there. It's a nice effective paint scheme, good basing, good contrast with the cockpit glass. Same thing down here on these guys. Very nicely done. Spackle mixed with sand-colored paint and a cone of Rainy River Designs mud and rusted clay pan on top once dry. Very nicely done. Here we have, also from Kursala, this group is a bit more eclectic and were intended to be solo units for some random mercenary/contracted forces. The Flashman is a Lansknecht style made from mostly leftover paint, and the hybrid to the right was more edge-highlighting practice. Both of these from local Trinity City defense contractors. The Uziel was based off that weird car that Squared posted a while back. I vaguely remember that. And the Mad Cat 3 was a quick attempt. I can speak today, I swear I can. Quick attempt at a Davion scheme, which I'm not terribly happy with. But hey, you know, I think it looks good. And this is sort of right in line with what I was saying earlier, Kursala. Like, you know, any paint on a model is better than no paint on a model. Any paint at all. And even if you're not super duper happy with how it came out, are you glad you did it? Are you glad you got it done? You've got one more painted mech. It might not be your favorite one, but damn it, it's got paint on it. His posture is a little insane. Is he dancing to the side here? Maybe it's because I can't really see how far forward or back his legs are here. Even if it's just primer, you're not wrong. Particularly if you're dealing with metal models. Just primer can help you see the details on a model better, for that matter. Mad Cat gotta take a leak. Yeah, he does kind of look like he's just lifting the leg a little bit there. Hey, Ghost for the win. How you doing, man? And of course, your horrific Frankenmech over here. It's like a Clint with some catapult missile boxes on it. And what are the legs from? This is madness. I'm actually really liking this color scheme over here on the Flashman. I think that the white panels that you've mixed in actually do quite a lot to kind of unify what is a very, very chaotic scheme. Nicely shaded on here, particularly on the thigh plate. Clint body, catapult, arms and pelvis, barrel hawk legs. Gotcha. Mad Cat auditioning for Stomp. Yeah, he's really getting into it. That or he's about to do like a sumo charge or something to that effect. He looks like he's trying to step on somebody. Looks like it's doing the quotation marks fingers pose. He's like, with his little missile boxes, he's like, Davion. Oh, yes, the so-called clanners. We have dismissed these claims. Played my first game of classic Battletech today in a while and got an old player back into it after like 35 years. Ghost, that is fucking fantastic, dude. I'm really glad to hear that. How was it? Was it everything you remember it being? Oh, yeah, okay. I was just thinking, like, it reminds me more of the Terran Republic Shatter Camo. Also, let me pitch something at you guys. I'm just going to throw this out there if anybody's interested. I was talking with, because, you know, we phase through games and play together periodically and then kind of fall out of it and pick up other ones. But I've been talking with Alaric Kerensky, another streamer, recently, about getting a squad together just to play, not necessarily like a whole lot, but some PlanetSide 2. It's been a long time since I've played it, but I own a lot of shit for the Terran Republic. If this interests you, maybe we'll start up a group chat on the Discord, because I'm kind of in the mood to bust out a little bit of PlanetSide 2. This definitely makes me think of it, because this is like the exact camouflage that I use on my Terran Republic stuff when I'm playing PlanetSide 2. Also, oh my god, this it looks like a spice blow is about to happen right under it. Like, never played Vergaderung. It's free to play. You should pick it up. But yeah, like this is it. This is the camo that I have on like all my vehicles, on my Liberator, on my Galaxy, on my Valkyrie, on my fucking tanks, on everything. Sidestep at maximum speed. Warhammer 6R and Rifleman 3N versus one Shrek PPC carrier and a Behemoth tank. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, those are beefy. It's a very, very cool kind of shatter camo pattern. I dig it. I like the sort of maroon red with it, too. Yeah, and I remember it because I couldn't tell what the hell the wheels were supposed to be the first time, and it turns out it's Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants. And as soon as someone said that, I'm like, oh my god, it is. My brain just didn't grasp what I was looking at. It's probably because of the pink circle. Like, if it was just the star, I would have seen it sooner. PlanetSide 2 is a fun game. Don't get into PlanetSide 2 thinking, like, we're gonna do great at this game, because we're not. If you guys want to play it with me, if we get some squads going or something like that, we're gonna run around and we're gonna be a nuisance to someone. We're gonna get a few points, and ultimately we're not gonna help anybody, but we're gonna have fun doing it is what's gonna matter, because that game is... For those of you who are unaware, it's like a full simulated war on a series of continents. There are 3 factions, and you spawn in, and it's just like, okay, well, there are battles happening here and there and over there, so, you know, go do whatever the fuck you want. And you can buy vehicles, and you can teleport around, you can join squads, you can take airplanes, tanks, You can do base building, like you do all kinds of crap. And people are always complaining about the balance because the balance is insane. But it is a whole lot of fun to play. Ooh, Dark Heart. That's pretty cool. I've seen some visuals like this before. That's neat. It reminds me of that one time that I went to see the Blue Man Group a long time ago. It is Rangonius, yes. It's like an MMO FPS. Oh, Ghost. One of the main classes is called Light Assault, and their primary feature are a series of different jetpacks that have different flight profiles. Planetside 1 was fantastic to square. We're talking about Planetside 2, Penis Land. But yeah, Light Assault is get a jetpack and fly over people's heads and drop bricks of C4 on them when they're not looking. It's kind of hilarious. I actually quite like the Light Assault class. It's free to play. It's a free to play MMO FPS. To Square, no. In fact, if you play Vanu, you're disinvited, and I'm sorry to have to do that. But there will be no playing of Vanu as long as I'm around. Well, Star Siege Tribes was, match based, and also had skiing and disc launch. I don't think it's really that much like Star Siege Tribes. And, I mean, Penis Land Warrior, I dug Star Siege Tribes. We played the shit out of that game. Yeah, White Wolf, it is a boring fucking game unless you have a squad of people to play with, and I think that is the one strength that we have right now. Here we have up from Rogue 19K, 5th time ever doing weathering, this time on a free Rasselhague Republic Atlas designed to the Gunsberg... assigned to the Gunsberg Eagles. Thanks to Kursala for suggesting the scheme. I like this. I really like this scheme. This is slick. You've done this sort of cool gray a few times and you've gotten really good at it, Rogue. The placement of the blue and the gold here is really, really striking, and I like you've used this deep, almost coppery gold yellow. And then we have it repeated here. The yellow in the eyes right here and the little bits of blue on top. Like this is nice. Damn. This is a good fucking paint job. Thick Mike. Daddy Thick Mike coming in with that thick raid. How you doing, Mike? Guys, can we get a shout out for Thick Mike? Another amazing paint streamer. Really, really fucking good dude. And been playing a lot of Apex Legends lately, kind of branching out into the gameplay streaming circuit, and much better at that game than I am. Like, kind of laughably better. Stinger, I can say words. I can't today. For whatever reason, my brain doesn't work all that well. Stinger297, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. Welcome to the Storm Report. We are going over some art submissions from viewers. What were we up to today, Thick Mike? I didn't get a chance to stop in before I got started. I was running late. I have work in the AM. Have a great night. Thick Mike, you have a fantastic night, dude. Get some sleep. Thick Mike, before you go. Planetside 2? You, me? Yeah? You want to play? Think about it. Get back to me. Seriously, though, Rogue, I've seen a lot of your paint jobs. And looking at this, I'm tempted to, like, I don't want to say that, like, you've done, technique-wise, you've done a whole lot different on this than you have your last few. You've been kind of turning and burning through them lately. You've got a really, really good high tabletop standard, like, down pat at this point. First of all, this is a great print. A lot of details that don't come out great on the Atlas actually came out pretty well on this one. But this particular color scheme is fucking phenomenal. Like, this is really striking. Stinger, you have a great night, man. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you for the follow. Dude, jump on the Discord. We're going to be talking about it some. I really like this. This is another great example of when I talk about color composition, the arrangement of your colors, of your focal points. The focal point right here with the bright yellow that really draws the eye, and then the nice balance of the blue around that's offset by the gold. This is lovely. What are the two lines, what are the two ruts here meant to be? Are they meant to be something in particular, I guess is what I'm asking, because they just kind of stand out to me. Lovely, lovely fuck. I'm trying to think, like, what would I I can't give any advice on this mech that isn't what I usually say to you, Rogue, which is, I want more contrast, but you have brought the contrast so far from the first few that you were doing that it's like, I feel stupid even saying that. If I had to criticize something on this model, if I had to pick something, a vehicle tracks in the mud, okay, I got you. If I had to pick something here and say, this is the thing that I would focus on. He's got real muddy feet. You might consider doing a little bit more, not heavy like it is on the feet, like it's caked onto his feet, and that makes sense, but teeny little spatters of brown where it would show up well on the lower surface of the knees, maybe a little bit on the underside of the pelvis. Nothing up this high, mud wouldn't splatter this high, but if you get a little bit on the underside of the pelvis, a little bit on the lower edge of the thigh, against this cool gray where it's actually going to show up nicely, I think that would lend a little something. And then maybe sponge some black on the shoulder or the head or the chest just to be like, oh, we get hit by small arms fire or something there. It's just that your texturing is getting really, really good, and I feel like you could push it just a little bit further to really sell the scale and the wear of the figure. I love the mud caked on the feet, though. Some more contrast to break up the gray. You could push the edge highlights on the gray almost to a white. On a, like if you were to just take a makeup brush with some cool white and get almost all the paint off of it and then gently dust it, like pup, pup, pup right here, pup, pup, pup right here, edge of the shoulder, like just those 3 spots. Don't do the whole thing. Just grab some edges here, and some edges here, and here, and I think that it would really just kind of push it up a little bit to the next level, you know? Lovely work, though. I really, really like that model, Rogue. Oh, we have something here from, do I want to click on this? It's cursed. And there's a pickle, there's a cucumber. Have we established, do I have the option to just completely fucking skip entries in the Storm Report? Is that a thing? Do I have like a number of cards that I can play? Like, we're skipping it. Oh, Coral, you have a fantastic night, dude. Thank you so much for stopping in. It's always good to see you, man. And thank you so much for that resub. Oh, that's not too bad. I don't know why you would do this. I would try this. It doesn't sound good, but this is on the, like, Roland has occasionally posted things that like make me throw up a little bit in my mouth, just the very concept of them. But this is not one of those. This is on the list of things where it's like, I wouldn't seek it out. But if you put it in front of me and said, hey, it's really good, like, I'd take a bite. I'd give it a shot, because the worst that's just it, though. I've had, it's really since I started going into the SCA to Square, that I realized how many things you can do with pickles and with vinegar, where if you are, like, sweating on a hot day and really dropping a lot of moisture, like, the combination of sweet and salty can actually be pretty damned amazing. I don't know that I would eat it just like sitting around my house, but yeah, on a hot day, coming in, like, that could probably be pretty good. Ultimate weapons. Absolute nonsense. Here we have from Squared working on the Vega tank mech for Revelations. I think is that still going? It can't have more than like a day on it at this point if it's still going. The Revelations Kickstarter? If it is still going right now, would someone mind grabbing a link and posting it in chat? About a day left? Yeah. I'm just gonna say, guys, if you have any interest at all in, like, Battletech or 6mm sci-fi war, just small-scale sci-fi wargaming, an interest in mechs, tanks, combined arms warfare, do yourself a favor and just go take a look at the Revelations Kickstarter. I'm not going to say go jump in, though I think you probably should. It's really an excellent Kickstarter. If you have a resin printer and you're at all interested in those things, you want to be in on this Kickstarter. It is a fully resin printable war game, and it's a fucking good one. You can get all the files officially and just print units to your heart's content. But I'm telling you, just take a look at it, because you might like what you see. This is really nicely done, and I love the division you've gone with here with the camo on the bottom and then the blue on top. People are going to be in the desert like, wow, what is that mech torso just floating in midair for? It reminds me so much of the HK tanks from Terminator 2. I think probably with good reason. I cannot imagine that Rick Graham was working on the design of this and wasn't thinking to himself, let's do the HK tank from Terminator, because that's what he did. It's really, really cool, though. Much, like, really nicely detailed. There's some details on here that I haven't actually seen before, because I haven't looked that closely at it. I'm going to have to print one of these guys out. I'm going to have one once the Kickstarter closes. Really like this blue that you've got here. What blue is... It looks like it's a blue... Is this a Turbo Dork paint? Because it looks slightly metallic. And it seems like every time I see a metallic paint and I ask people, they're like, oh, it's a Turbo Dork paint. Crossbow Roof, thanks for being here, man. You have a great night. Your 8-year-old nephew's obsessed with AI. Oh, God. It's a cool color scheme you've got here, man. What are you doing, Squared? What are you doing for your full-size mechs? Are you doing, like, their legs in this color and the upper torso in this, or... Because I remember on the tank that you're doing, the pommel, it's mostly the tiger stripe camo and then blue on one side, so I'm just kind of curious how you're dividing it up. Really nicely done. It's more armored core since tracks were a leg option. I could see that, but I mean, particularly when you've got like the sort of flattened, faceless torso, and then the gun arm sticking so specifically off to the side like that, like, I'm always gonna think of the HK tank. Spaz Tech, these are in the Storm Report channel, which gets cleared after every stream. It is closed right now, so you can't post to it right now, but after the stream, once it gets refreshed, you can post in it immediately. We take a look at this at the end of every single stream. Here we have some more work from Mafik, the M18 Hellcat Nico. That cat girl is a tank. It's a tank girl. Oh, that's not just a delight. Right arm blue and the rest camo. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Literal tank girl. It's funny, I just watched Turbo Kid, which came out in, what was that, 2015? Something like that? I just watched Turbo Kid. And it's just funny because Tank Girl is not a subject that really comes up a lot for me, very regularly. But there's a scene in Turbo Kid when Michael Ironside, the evil bad guy, is explaining his plot. And he has this juicing machine that he's built that it's only really in one scene, but he has a juicing machine. And he's explaining, like, oh, the human body is composed of so much water. And he's like, oh, and your brain, your gray matter, that's 90% water. We're gonna recover every drop of that. And he throws people into this big grinding machine, and it grinds them up, and it sort of spits out, bottles of water. And I was like, oh, this is the plot of Tank Girl. Like, because Malcolm McDowell had the little thing, and he would stab it in your chest, and it would suck all the water out of you and leave you like a husk. Tank Girl is underrated. Tank Girl is a fucking silly movie. It's got Ice-T as a kangaroo revolutionary mutant. Oh, I haven't seen Tank Girl in a while. This is fucking cool, though, Mafik. Such style. Snack Punch. Thank you so much for the follow, man. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Snack Punch, you've been in here before. What are you doing, man? How you doing, Snack Punch? It's good to see you. I like how the main gun of the tank has just become like a rifle. Like, the front of it all looks like a tank rifle with a little shield and everything like that, but then on the back we've got a stock, and presumably there's a handle, and then we've got tank treads on the legs. Wanna hunt some panzers? With a little gun. Little pintle-mounted machine gun on her shoulder. Ah, Mafik. You never cease to bring a smile to my face. Yeah, right, I would totally take a look at more literal tank girls and guys. I'm so into that. Fever finally broke, so finally doing way better now. I'm so glad to hear that, Snack Punch. I never read the comic Steel a Rebel. That's pretty deep even for me. Zombie Brush Studios, you haven't seen Tank Girl or you haven't seen Turbo Kid? Don't get me wrong, I like Tank Girl. But if I were recommending that you watch just one, like, I would recommend you watch both. But if I was going to recommend one that you watch first, it would be Turbo Kid. I like Tank Girl, but Turbo Kid is more fun and less boring, in my opinion. Tank Girl has many, many very entertaining parts. It has some parts that are like, oh god, let's just get to the next part of the goddamn movie. I am enjoying some New Belgium Fat Tire tonight, Stack Punch. Turbo Kid's a lot of fun. Turbo Kid is better than I thought it was going to be. I recommend Turbo Kid and Manborg. These two movies are so much fun. And if you like Manborg, if you like Astron 6, like if you've seen, what's it called? Psycho Gorman, which came out fairly recently. Psycho Gorman was done by the same people who were formerly Astron 6, who did, yes, Biocop. I can't believe they put Biocop into Psycho Gorman. It was so fucking horrible. Kill me. Oh. Here we have from Jungle Plague. Okay, so I don't like the white accents, but I think I'm making overall progress. Please ignore the Maui Hook Kurita Dragon. It was real little. More thoughts. So the white that you have there, I think that if you just took something like Rainy River Designs Ruby Overlay, or Scale 75 Inktense Red, or even just a very thinned down, very heavily saturated red, and just washed it over what you've got, it would just give you a decent edge highlight. If you're not liking it and you'd like to move back to just red, you could just throw that over that, and that would just become a really slick edge highlight. I don't hate it, though. I like the kind of burnt ends on the end of the Marauder's guns. I love that you're going with, is this, whose Marauder is this? Is this Sea Daddy's Marauder? Or is this, heavily thinned red ink would work as well. Yeah, Southbound Metalhead. If you have something like Dr. P.H. Martin's Spectralite acrylics, they're red, just really, really thin over top. Would work incredibly well to just turn that into a red edge highlight. Is this your Marauder machine gun? There are a number of classic Marauders out there, and I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I can't always tell because they all look so damn slick. I like how in this one the feet have been sort of toned down a little bit. They're not as gigantic as they usually are. Nice work on this machine gun. Golden High Flow as well, dries a little glossy though. You can either mix in a touch of a matte medium to take that out, or just varnish it afterwards though. That's not really a big deal. I don't hate it though. I think it looks pretty good. I'm curious what you're gonna do, like, because Jungle Plague is always doing some really, really cool stuff with the glow out of the cockpit, and if you're moving in a green direction here, which is what it looks like, if you push that to a bright, almost yellow green, and then you get some of the glow around here, that's gonna make the red pop so nicely. But yeah, I think if you just glazed some red over there, red ink, some highly saturated red acrylic, that would just turn into a red edge highlight, and I think you probably would be pretty happy with that. I love the blackened gun barrels that we have on the arms and on the top cannon there, though. That's really, really nice. I don't know. I'll put some more thought into this one for you, though, Jungle Plague. I like that. There's a slight heat discoloration here, too. This sort of gold on the way from the dark soot over to the silver. This little bit of gold in there. It's subtle, but it's effective. All in all, pretty excellent work, Jungle Plague. I think that if you push the green here, push the cockpit glow like you've done on some of your others, and maybe add a little bit of splash of color on the end here, like for lensed weapons or something like that, I think that would just... It feels like it needs one more color to me. That's what I'm getting from this. The red and the black look good. I don't even hate the white. But it needs one more color, and the color that leaps into my mind is green. Or an OSL blue. Green or blue. Yeah, something cool. Something cool to offset this real deep burnt maroon that you've got going on here. And I'm very, very curious to see what you're going to wind up actually choosing. Feel like I should have done more rusty junk stuff under the silverware. Like the white stripes makes the silver indistinct. I could see that. I could see that because when I first glance at it, I feel like these two are the same thing, and then it takes me a minute to realize that they're not. Like, I kind of see what you're going for, it's just not necessarily working. Get another bright color in there, and see what that does. Here we have from Lore Friendly, tap the airbrush today, reprime the gnaw hole, had to strip before, prime the first unit of 20 clan rats, varnish the Griffin and Phoenix Hawk, also primed a couple more of my magnetized Storm Fiend weapons. So I had a bit of extra primer in the airbrush, it is always a shame to waste. I'm gonna do some more work on these two bad boys? Interesting. That's a lot of rats. That's a lot of rats. Roland has had a revelation. Yeah, I know what you mean, Southbound Metalhead. That's a trick that I've tried a number of times, and I've never gotten it quite that. Jungle Plague is an exciting painter, because as far as I've gathered, he hasn't been doing it very long. But you know how sometimes a painter comes along who just has sort of the prodigy's understanding of some methods, just certain things that took me a while to learn come very, very naturally to me, and then when I look at his weaknesses, I'm like, well, these are things that you're just going to learn by doing more work. Like, it's just going to come to you, but you have that instinct for painting that a lot of people have to work on. HBS Battletech is basically the Lion King, and you are Timon and Pumbaa. If Timon and Pumbaa were... okay. Alright, I can kind of see that. If they're like mercenaries. Which in a way they sort of are within the context. No, shut... No. Not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, and you can't make me Waffles the Wonder Fish. Well, that is a good amount of priming, Lore Friendly, and I'm glad that you managed to make use of the I always hate when I have to throw away a tiny little bit of primer. I go looking for things like, what have I not sprayed primer on? What can I put this on? Even if there's not enough. Yes, Stynal Res. I really cannot recommend Stynal Res as a primer enough. I really, really can't. It means no worries for the rest of your days. No, we're not going to do it. Okay, here we have from Roland. Ooh, well, that's a chunky boy right there. Roland. What is this guy? I like his design. He reminds me of... Did you guys ever play a game on Dreamcast called Techromancer? I meet so few people who even know what the fuck that is that I start to feel like I maybe made it up as a kid. But I swear to God, there's a game called Techromancer for the Dreamcast. It was like a head-to-head fighting game where you played as various giant robots and kaiju. And this guy reminds me a lot of the American character Robot from Techromancer. I don't know if that's because just his general shape, his chonkiness, the composition of him, how his shoulders are kind of higher than his head. But it very much reminds me of that. Original mecha design from Micro Mecha Studio, M21 Maxwell main battle robot. I like it. It reminds me also of the... I'm trying to place what this head reminds me of with the two eyes stuck out to the side, but the body kind of reminds me of the classic, like, Castaferum dreadnoughts that have been mostly phased out in 40k with the squat-ass legs and the big torso. It's a very cool design. Damn it, Zombie Breast, no. No. Don't you put that evil on me. That's gonna be stuck in my fucking head all day. Roland, that's a pretty cool damn mini, man. I can't wait to see some paint going down on that bad boy. It's like he's got good chunky details too. I think your contrast style will work well on him. Here we have from Raven Cats. Ooh. Shared without comment, but what more needs be said? Good use of the crackle paint to create that sort of Badlands base. Really nice, vivid colors and effective camo here. Not just effective camo, but still... I like how the deepest color of your camo is still higher than the deepest recesses, so that we can still see all of the recesses and shadows on the model, while also having this nice variation across this kind of aqua camo. Very effectively done. Same thing for the green. The deepest color doesn't go too deep so that we can still see the different portions of the figure. I like the work on the lensing. I like the choice of the cockpit glass, this sort of almost orange-red. Like, oh my god, it contrasts so well with the aqua blue camo. Is this how it's gonna be? We're just gonna try to put Disney songs in Thunderhead's fucking head all night? Used Stynel res until I got a bottle, it just wouldn't spray no matter what I did. It wouldn't spray, ended up throwing 80% of a bottle in the trash. Message Badger. And they were rude and assumed you were looking for a free... Really? That is incredibly disappointing to hear, SpazTech. I haven't had any occasion to deal with their customer service. I hear that they took Be Prepared out of the, like, live-action or animated Lion King that they did. I haven't watched it, I'm not gonna watch it, but I heard that they took Be Prepared out of it, and I'm like... That was the best song in the fucking movie. Like, that was Jeremy Irons hanging it up. Or you know, hamming out, chewing the damn scenery, and you take it out of the movie. That was maybe the one thing that would have gotten me to watch it, was another awesome extended version of Be Prepared. Is that the Kids Logic? Yeah, this is the Kids Logic Armored Veritech Crusader, isn't it? This is a nice looking lance. This is a damn nice looking, like, Ravencat. I wish that I had more to say about these figures besides wow, and I love the look of them. All of your color choices are great, your composition is good, the camo is effective, the shading works even with the camo, the choice of cockpit glass is fantastic. I love the fade going down to the arms, like... That's a big fucking thumbs up right there, man. Wonderful looking lance. Here we have also from Jungle Plague, think I'm still legal, is it is only post number 2. Took some input that I got and feel like I made some okay corrections. Oh yeah. Yeah, like we can already see there's a little bit of green down here now. It looks like you moved in the direction that we were talking about. Like other people probably saw this and gave you some very similar tips. I'd say push it. I'd say push it more. I'd say particularly right here. I need a little bit more green right here, but this is definitely moving in the right direction. And yeah, toning that down a little bit. But all in all, really nice work, Jungle Plague. Ooh, we got something from Papa Bear. Insert loud chicken sounds. Oh my lord. Is that this is the fucking Thunder Chicken. Oh my, this is a wonderful version of the Raven. Heard New Lion King was just the same movie except with more lines for whichever lioness Beyonce played. Yeah, I just, I don't know. I look at the new Lion King and I just go, I can't care. I think, is it the wrong arm? I mean, the good news is that that's as simple as mirroring it in any given piece of software. But yeah, the AC-20's over here. It's a big son of a bitch too. I like these kind of like clamps that come down on it, and I like the counterweight on this side. First line you come back to is "Bok bok, motherfucker, bok 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 bok, boom," as it were. Oh, this is wonderful. Leave it to Papa Bear and Machine God to get up to a fucking project like this. This is hot. This is a great sculpt, and on top of that, it's a hilarious fucking meme, which means this has the potential to become a big fucking deal in the community, and I cannot wait to see a bunch of these getting painted up. Because if there's one thing the Battletech community loves, it's memes. Like, oh my god, the Irby is nothing but a meme. You can't go into any Battletech related conversation and not have someone be like, Steiner Scout Lance, it's all Atlases. Like, oh, the memes. We need new memes. And if the Thunder Chicken is going to be the new meme, then I say, bring it on. Lovely, lovely work, Papa Bear and Machine God. If someone feels like sharing a link to Papa Bear and Machine God, some assembly required, Patreon, because they do this stuff on a Patreon, all these models are available there. Please feel free to link it. They do fantastic work. Oh, and we've got more of them here from Mafik, the M4 Sherman. In this case, we have the treads are realized as sort of like a heavy gear style tank skate. And then we've got the cannon here, and it looks like she's holding on to a fresh shell to load in. Oh, Mafik. You have an interesting brain on you, sir. If she was a real Sherman, she'd be on fire. Well, you know, maybe she hasn't made contact with the enemy or even run all that long yet, Roland. Give it time. Oh, man. I really like the art style, the way that your faces are drawn, the general proportions. It's cool work, Mafik. Here we have from Zombie Brush Studios, working on one of the mechs from the Patreon we were just talking about, some assembly required. Yeah, this looks nice. Nice work on the basing, too. It's so hard to sell scale in hex bases for Battletech, but this works nicely. Love that red, real deep shadows and that kind of cartoony style that you specialize in so well, Zombie Brush. Love the real pale, slightly cool NMM that we have going on for the weapon barrels. Divides up the red and contrasts it very nicely. I love the yellow up here. This is such a... It's why I always use some different contrasting color that appears almost nowhere else on the mech for the cockpit glass. It creates such a nice focal point right at the top. It's such a beefy vulture. Such a beefy vulture, and he's got such an aggressive forward pose on him. Hamburg Tack, thank you for the reminder. Oh. The extreme contrast, WJ, is slightly cartoonish. This is less cartoonish than what Zombie Brush usually does. But the real heavy contrast is sort of an illustrator style. Yeah, Waffles the Wonderfish, that whole thing with the Sherman is just like the obsession that people get with German tanks from World War II. The fucking, I think the phrase I heard applied was Verabus. Like, people have a really funny idea about how incredibly effective German tanks were in World War II, when the truth is that they were marginally effective and a lot of them really fucking sucked and a good number of them just lit on fire pretty constantly. And, it's sort of like a weird post-war propaganda myth that's circulated about the incredible effectiveness of the German war machine, and it's like mostly they attacked people when they weren't expecting it in places that were poorly defended. Like, Yeah, no, absolutely, WJ. Yeah, the Sherman was on the offensive and the Germans were on the defensive. You want to talk about... Yeah, exactly. That's exactly a very good point, Nanotanks. You want to talk about how effective the German war machine was? It got ground into fucking dust. That's how effective it was. That's not to say that I don't find that part of the war interesting, but people get really weird sometimes about German versus Allied armor, and like the whole... Allied rounds were flattening against German armor. Yeah, and then that same German tank that had the super thick armor lit on fire because it leaked fucking diesel into the crew compartment constantly. What was I talking about? I like the two different grays that we have here, by the way. This is something that stands out to me, Zombie Brush. This real deep blue gray that doesn't come up much higher for the missile launchers and for these little sensor pods, I assume they are here. And you've got this much lighter gray for the weapons. You can see the blue gray again right here. It just creates a nice balance across the figure where we got 1, 2, 3 points where this gray appears arranged very nicely across the figure, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again a nice balance of the other color. It's a well-composed model. Very well composed. Yeah, a White Wolf, they were rewriting their doctrines during that war, so of course people... It's basically just propaganda that survived for whatever reason. It's hard for me to feel too much respect for a military force that was basically taking, by the end of it, they were taking our equivalent of Boy Scouts and giving them guns and saying, hey, go fight! Like, can't have been that good. Here we have from Lore Friendly, a touch more work done today, undercoating a couple Skaven so I can do a test model, got some color on the Gnaw hole. God, what a name. I think VGC Livery Green is just a bad color for the airbrush. It was clogging and spatter. Really? I've had very good experiences with livery green specifically. Clogging and spattering a bit, even when I put a lot more airbrush thinner than normal. It dries quickly, I might see about spraying the white in the center of the vortex, but not risking spraying anything on wet paint. Don't want to paint this one a third time. It's very effective. You know what? I wouldn't do the white in the middle. You might try using a slightly darker green in a little bit of a circular pattern around. And then maybe giving... Or even, you could even dry brush a little bit of a darker green so the deeper parts are a little bit lighter. Consider working in a darker green, though, and keeping your glow on the edges in the center like this is the highest point. Because white is just going to desaturate, and that's something you don't want to do to Liberty Green. I'm not saying they didn't have good ideas, Waffles. I think Operation Paperclip pretty much proves that. Nice work on the rocks here, too. It's just kind of a two-tone dry brush job, but it's very, very effective because these rocks have such jagged details on them. It's another good example of Games Workshop makes models that are just easy to paint. Real easy to paint. Yeah, some yellow. That's a good point, Nanotanks. You'd have to find... The thing is, because I've got some right here, light livery green. This is very yellow. This is already very, very yellow. So I'm wondering what green you might use. Something you could do is use something like, I've got Reaper Moth Green here. And if you keep your light livery green as your highest point and deepen some parts with moth green, which is still very light, but it's more green than it is yellow, you might get more of that yellow contrast. I just wouldn't do white. Whatever you do, I wouldn't do white, because that is absolutely going to desaturate what you've got going on here. And by the time you get to light livery green, you don't want to desaturate it any more than it already is. I mean, this is a whole conversation, WJ, but particularly with the benefit of hindsight, I think we can fucking say one thing absolutely certain about the German war machine in World War II. They did a number of very, very stupid and terrible things, and they got their asses kicked, so I have a hard time venerating them too much. Yeah? We'd probably agree on that. Some yellow on those white bits will make the contrast look a bit better. Just like, see, that it really is yellow, though. Nanotanks, I assume you probably got some light livery green, particularly with the kind of painting that you do. But it's so yellow. Like, I'm wondering what yellow... You'd have to use like a canary yellow. I guess you could do it, but yeah, just not white. Just whatever you do, not pure white, because that is going to be a mistake, in my opinion. Oh, here we have from Wolverine DH, my design of the 150-ton super heavy mech, Omega. Ooh, that is a big stompy boy, ain't it? Oh, Lord, oh, Lord. If I'm not mistaken, Wolverine DH did a kit bash of some of these parts and created some of the other ones. But it's very nicely done. It's got such a like a Cylon-esque head on it, doesn't it? Are we talking German tanks? We have been for a little bit here, Carrie and Lich. We're mostly talking about how they actually sucked way more than people want to admit. That was always one of my favorite scenes in, you guys remember that movie Hogan's Heroes? Or not Hogan's Heroes. Was it Hogan's Heroes? Kelly's Heroes. Yeah. Kelly's Heroes, the ones where the American tankers decide to rob the gold repository on their way through Germany. And there's that tank battle at the end with the Tiger. Yeah, where the German tanker gets out and he's just soaked in diesel. He's like, please, nobody shoot, nobody light up any cigarettes or anything. We are absolutely soaked in diesel. Oh, Kelly's Heroes is a great movie. Why don't you lay it off with those negative waves, man? Really nicely done, Wolverine. Uh-oh. Here we have from Rio, it's a double event. We got that Godzilla versus Kong energy going on. Oh, look, I'm in there, too. I'm tiny. Oh, this is just fucking adorable. My God, Rio. You come a long way with your pen work. I remember when you said you were going to start doing this, and it's like, you've succeeded at getting better. Oh, there's one of Verg's taco trucks down here, too. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord. This building has just been annihilated. Yeah, and the Godzilla axe and everything. Oh, this is wonderful, Rio. I like how I'm down here just kind of looking confused about what it is I'm supposed to be doing. I was not designed for this purpose. I don't think that doesn't surprise me at all that this would be difficult. Rio, if you came to me and you showed me this and you said, this was really easy to do, that would surprise me. That I would find surprising. That it's difficult, I don't find surprising because the outcome is absolutely fantastic. I like the contrast of the really, really nice, soft, fluffy clouds and organic shapes, and you got some really hard edges and lines on the buildings. I really like the inclusion of the taco truck, though. That's wonderful. I finally got my taco. Yeah, it's gigantic, and it's probably made of, like, aluminum, or, like, fiberglass, but I suppose I'll take it. I suppose. Wonderful work, Rio. We've got to get a compilation of the various blunderthud work that you've done, because I'd like to do some more with it. But thank you for sharing, Rio. Rio from Project Dark Fox, new art, but it's a low-effort doodle. This is me every time I have to witness a new culinary atrocity from Sumitha Roland, or any of the other usual suspects. You know who you are. What the fuck? What are you doing? Make Cat Ghidorah at some point. Have like one derpy cat that the others kind of gang up on. Yeah, I could see that. Oh, and rocking a Thunderhead Studio t-shirt on top of everything else. Nice, subtle. I like it. This is... Yeah, I think Mothra probably works better. I hate it. I hate it when people go, oh, this is just a quick doodle I did. And I'm like, that would be a whole month right there. Oh, nice work, Project Dark Fox. Oh, coming down here we have from Drakari. Trying to decide how to use my 2 photos to show off both my printing progress and bust painting, deciding no one cares about seeing the bust, but we do. Just pulled the hips section off the printer today. Probably won't have any more to show next Storm Report, but we'll hopefully be displaying the full tail and or chest. Also, this kit is getting too big to live on my PC desk. Oh, that green's coming in real nice now, though. It looks like you're leaving some of the blue inside the mouth, which, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because it's that blue glow. And if you got if it's in the blue PLA, you might as well keep some of that coloration. And here we have those Mecha Godzilla legs coming together. This is a big, cool... Oh, that's all paint. You just went in and cleaned it up? That works too. I like the combination of blue and green that you got going on, though, Drakari. This is a big old print. And a lot of pieces from the look of it. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing the final version of it. I always like seeing different versions of Mecha Godzilla. The latest one that they've done for the Godzilla vs. Kong movie was pretty cool. As much as I think that movie's kind of fucking dumb, which it is. I'm not even insulting that movie when I call it dumb. Like, as I say it, I feel like I could have the director in front of me and go, that's a dumb movie, and he'd go, yeah. Adam Wingard, the director of Godzilla vs. Kong, that makes me think, I need to recommend to you guys, have you seen The Guest? Have you seen The Guest? It was written by, what's his name? Simon something? I can't remember. He and Adam Wingard worked together a lot, like on a whole lot of movies. And Adam Wingard directed Godzilla vs. Kong, but then he also directed this movie, The Guest. It slipped under my radar for years and years. And it is maybe my favorite new movie that I have watched in the last several months. The Guest is fucking fantastic, and I don't want to tell you anything about it. I don't even want you to look up anything about it, or any reviews, or any details, because it's got fun twists in it. They're kind of obvious twists. They're heavily foreshadowed, but that movie is so... It's fun to watch. I have to compare it to Dread in that sense, where it's just like once you start watching it, you're just having a good time. You're just entertained the whole way through. The soundtrack keeps you going. The characters are fun. Some of the performances from like the parents of the family are fucking magnificent. The kid, his pseudo main character kid, I don't want to go on about it too much. I just want to say, if you haven't seen The Guest, it's on Netflix right now. You can just go watch it. I don't think you'll regret it. It is just an entertaining fucking movie, and you get some real quality Lance Reddick action, which if you know Lance Reddick, you know he's fun to watch on screen. Which I only thought of because this made me think of Godzilla vs. Kong, which made me think of Adam Wingard. And I remember Adam Wingard said something about Godzilla vs. Kong, ironically kind of shit-talking his own movie before it came out. He said something to the effect of, like, look, I just did Godzilla vs. Kong so that I could sort of get back to doing the movies I actually want to do. And then I go watch The Guest, and I'm like, if this is what Adam Wingard wants to do, he should get back to it as soon as possible, because it's phenomenal. It's just great. Yeah. I agree with you, WJ, and I think that the comparison ultimately should be with Shin Godzilla, because Shin Godzilla did not come out that long ago. And if you compare Shin Godzilla with Godzilla vs. Kong, it's like Godzilla vs. Kong is dumb. It's just dumb. It's dumb the whole fucking way through. The human characters barely exist. Alexander Skarsgård performs like... I'm pretty sure that when they handed Alexander Skarsgård his script for the movie, like somebody was walking with a bunch of character scripts in hand, and they dropped them, and they just got all mixed up, and then they were like, here you go, these are your lines, because he's like 3 different characters, none of whom have any relation to who he's introduced as in the beginning of the movie. This is the thing, Rio, I would agree with you if the movie was 30 minutes shorter. Like, if you put me in the editing room, I could take 30 minutes out of that movie that don't need to be there. If you literally took out every single scene with Millie Bobby Brown in it from the beginning to the end of the film, you would miss nothing. You'd miss nothing at all. And that was my problem with the movie. It's not that I didn't enjoy the action sequences. I did. I thought they were a lot of fun. And I think Adam Wingard's really good at directing action sequences, and this is something that is on display in The Guest. The Guest has some of the coolest action scenes in a long damn time. But yeah, like, she was so bad. She was so goddamn bad. And I don't even blame her. She's a fine actress. It's just like, she was given nothing to work with. Nothing at all. Just to have the monsters punch each other. It's clear that that's the only thing you wrote. So why are we doing the other parts at all? It tried to sell itself as a real movie. It was 2 hours long. It should have been an hour and a half most. And that's being generous for the content that they had to work with. And you know what? You want to know? For those of you who were there with me just the other night when we watched Pacific Rim on Discord, Pacific Rim did everything Godzilla vs. Kong did, but it did it better, it did it years before, and it didn't do it soullessly, which is maybe my biggest issue with Godzilla vs. Kong. Not just that it's boring, which it is. I'll say it's my second biggest issue. It's that it's soulless. I don't believe anybody working on it gave a shit about it. They're just like, and then, I don't know, and then the monkey and the lizard fight for a while, I guess. Like, there was no love. There was no message. And I was really kind of weirded out by the way that they killed the entire population of Hong Kong without even mentioning that it happened. Some people need time to pee during a movie. You'd have a point, Graham, if it wasn't released on HBO Max. Nowadays, we can just pause. There you go. I really don't. I think that they liked getting paid, WJ. I think that they cared about their paychecks. And that is about it. There was no soul in that film. Here we have from Machine God, the power of the sphere lurks in the fading daylight, seeking his vengeance. Ooh, that zeal. Damn. Nice, chunky details. Really like the pose on this guy. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Yeah, Graham, and on top of that, it's like, you literally introduced me to Kong in the movie by being like, oh, we've had him in a big dome under constant observation for the last several decades. And he's a giant fucking monkey that you can't lose track of. And then 5 minutes later in the movie, they're like, oh my god, he learned sign language from a little girl and we had no idea. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that was such a self-own. Like, you didn't have to... You could have just been like, oh, we taught him sign language. And that would have been fine. It would have been fine for the purposes of the movie. Just go, oh yeah, we taught him sign language. But they wanted it to be a reveal. The problem is that it being a reveal didn't make any fucking sense. Why am I ranting about this? Why do I let myself do this? It's because it isn't Rio. It's because they didn't have that in mind when they wrote any of the previous movies, and the previous movies all fucking suck. It's funny because this afternoon I saw Godzilla vs. Kong in a theater. It wasn't horrible. It was mainly focused on the deaf girl because I work with deaf people and was checking to see how they handled the scenes with her. So I interviewed, and she had some interesting perceptions about what went on. I don't even hate that. I don't even hate that Mannix the Lemur. I was fine with her character. I'm fine with her teaching Kong sign language. I'm fine with Kong, protecting the little girl. It's his beauty that slayed the beast, so on and so forth. My problem with it was that they played it as a big reveal that made no fucking sense at all. Kong Skull Island was okay. It had problems, though. It was more fun than Godzilla vs. Kong, but it had the same problems in that the fight scenes were good, and then everything in between was like, okay. And then they wander around, and then something attacks him, and then they wander around, and then something attacks him. I like the scenes when soldiers are getting killed. That was fun. It was really long, and I don't know why Loki was in the movie. What the fuck is that actor's name? You guys, you know who I'm talking about. Tom Hiddleston. He has this line in the beginning of the movie when they're hiring him as his mercenary self, and he's like, okay, well, you're gonna pay me $1 bajillion to go to Skull Island. And then he has a line, right? He has a line where he goes, and my fee is gonna be double if we make it back alive. I just want you to take a second and think about that. My fee's gonna be double if we make it back alive. Who writes this shit? What the... What? What? Fuck that movie. I just... But okay, yeah, when Kong was fighting the skull whatevers and he was like swinging the anchor on the chain, like that was fun. That was okay. I like the guy who got stabbed through the mouth and with a spider leg and it like came out his butthole. That was pretty cool. I liked the dude who gets snatched up by the little razor face murder things and they like chop his arm off in midair. I was like, ooh, that was kind of cool. But that's the thing, and I had the same feeling about Godzilla vs. Kong. Like, this movie should have been a series of YouTube videos and not a 2-hour film. None of that has to do with how good this Uzio looks. I have to admit, I love the look of the cockpit glass on this. I'm going to print. I need to print this, and I need to print you guys' catapult. This is fantastic work. Painted Ogre is officially back on the Heavy Gear hype train. What have I done? What you've done is build a bunch of pretty nice plastic models. Oh, I gotta get back into my Heavy Gear Blitz building. I need to just come up with a quick scheme that I can dry brush my figures with and not worry too much about spending time on them and get them done. I just need a quick dry brush scheme. I need to take my own advice, lower my damn standards for this army, and get it the fuck done. Because Heavy Gear Blitz just got a new edition, and damn it, I want to play it. Damn it, I want to play it.
Yo, I heard you like battle
Painted Ogre.
mechs. So I put a battle mech in your battle mech, and now Thunderhead's 3D printer is broken.
You could do that with a gear. You could take a gear and like put it inside an Atlas. That would probably work. Oh, here we have from White Wolf Setup Sunday Cake Pop Edition. Ever wonder why that 51 painting sticks in a small area looks like? Yeah, I agree with hubby. They definitely look like cake pops. Either way, they're helping me keep all the small bits organized, and unsurprisingly, keeping paint on the things I'm painting and not on my fingers. Also, oh hello there, wicked opaque phthalo blue on top of the previous work. You're downright gorgeous. It really is a nice blue, I have to say. I'm glad to see this terrain getting the assembly line paint. You're really just like turning and burning right now, and it feels good to observe. Same wicked opaque phthalo blue on one of the staircases. Oh hell yeah, it's nice and vivid, isn't it? Ooh, look at that. Amber. Oh yeah, Jackson definitely carried the... Jackson carries... That's the thing, like, maybe the one thing the movie had going for it is that Sam Jackson is super duper fun to watch do basically anything. I would watch Samuel Jackson go to the fucking grocery store. Always had 20 tons of cargo space inside an Atlas and carry a parasite locust. You see him in there working his little arms on the controls. I mean, alright. In the context of the story, like, his character was sad, but I mean, his performance was fun. His insane Captain Ahab obsession. I thought that intro scene when Kong was smacking the helicopters out of the air went on way too long, though. It was just like, oh, and then he destroys another helicopter. And he destroys another helicopter. And he destroys another helicopter. I'm like, he really could have gotten this across in like half the time. But that's kind of a thin critique, in my opinion. Ooh, expected gunpla is my last one. Here, have more blue. Oh, and if curious about some of the process, these were my testers for the Wicked Opaque Phthalo Blue, bottom left as well as the right side. Colors are steadily coming together for things. Purple is Wicked Opaque Dioxazine Purple. Orange is Wicked Opaque's Pyrrole Orange. Oh, I'm liking the blue mixed in here. I haven't seen it since you've started doing the blue, but this is nice. Really brings out the pattern. God damn, that blue is vivid, White Wolf. Lovely, lovely work. Now, are these acrylics that you're putting down? Because you're saying phthalo blue, and I haven't looked at Wicked Opaque. Are they just using... I guess that's just the oil pigmentation. But they're acrylic medium paints that you're putting down? Because that blue really is like, whew, holy shit. It's an acrylic? I thought so. I haven't looked at Wicked Opaque. That's gonna be a damn good-looking Infinity set, White Wolf. Here we have from Kingfisher Games. This is what he's been working on. Now this is a well-used paint station here. I have to say, it looks like we got old Peter Parker from the I can't remember the name of this game. I just said it earlier. It's Marvel something. It's not Crisis Protocol. It's the other one. Marvel United. That's the one. That's the one. I knew it was going to come to me eventually. Yeah, I was thinking that as I said at Kursala. I was like, well, they would use the same pigments. It's just a question of medium. But you don't usually hear most acrylic companies referring to their pigments so directly. They always come up with funny names for their formulation and the pigments that they've mixed. Oh, the Ghost Rider's neat. Oh, the Ghost Rider's neat. I like this. Wait, that is Ghost Rider, right? Yeah, that's Ghost Rider. I don't know. I saw the mohawk and I was like, it could be Captain Marvel? No, it's Ghost Rider because of the chain and the leather. I like that. I like that. It's like it's a lot like Wild Rider Red, that orange. It's a really, really good base for like glow effects and stuff. Well done. Oh, and then we got Groot coming together too. These Marvel United figures are just fucking adorable. They really, really are. Kingfisher Games, really nice work on these. Very happy with how it's been coming along. I would love it if you kept us updated. I love seeing the process. Like, I like seeing good finished minis. Don't get me wrong, I like admiring them. I like taking techniques from them. More than that, I like to see the process. I like to see kind of where we're at and then where we're going. I think it can be very, very educational and inspirational. And that's sort of our stock in trade here, is keeping ourselves motivated and inspired. Lovely work, Kingfisher. I like the sort of gradients and more complex color shifts that you got going on across Groot here. Good set of colors. Well done. Yeah, I was going to say, he looks more finished than the other two do. Even if his eyes are going to give me nightmares. Oh my god. Well done, Kingfisher. And thank you so much for sharing. Ooh, here we have from Sphere. He's been working on some of these Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings figures. These are the dwarves. Dweghorn, I think. The Dweghom, something like that, I think they're called in the universe. And the infantry are nice. I like how very, very stocky and burly they are compared to humans. They're not just short and small and strong. You look at the Dweghom, thank you, Dweghom dwarves, and you're like, that dude looks like he could punch a hole in my chest with his giant shoulders and beefy fucking fists. These are really, really cool sculpts. I love how the focus on them is on the beards, on like all of them. Like they're so over-stylized, and they have like these mechanical crossbows. I have to say though, these are kind of the least of the Dwarven range, because they have some really fucking cool models. Just really, really neat ones, like constructs and fire elementals and shit. The art style for the whole range is really, really impressive. I'm not familiar with this particular character, but I have to say I love these skin tones and that particular deep auburn that we have going on for the beard and hair. Ooh, this is gonna look good. Is this a Wrathcore holder, by the way? I only ask because I've got one myself. Finished the Inferno Automata a while back. I'm gonna have to go take it. Do you have that on your Instagram sphere? Because I'm gonna have to go take a look at that. Really, really liking the skin tones on this guy. They look very kind of ruddy and like a guy who spends a lot of time around the forge, you know? Got that, I've been burnt a couple of times. This model is the Exemplar. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and then his codpieces. Everything in Conquest is delightfully stylized in a way that I find very, very pleasing. Not just because he has a giant codpiece, but also other things. Also, really nice non-metallic metal glare that we have going on here. It's subtle enough that I almost didn't notice it at first, which is what I think is what effective NMM should look like. So I'm very much looking forward to you finishing up this figure sphere, and thank you for sharing. In awe at the size of his codpiece, aren't we all? Here we have from the POV 42, today's hobby mantra was get through the backlog. 2 undercoats and 2 speed-ish painted models. Speed-ish is still speed. Red and black is a classic combo, and going with easily accomplished, good, effective combos is a good way to get through models. A little splash of blue there. Looking pretty damn nice, I gotta say. Oh, and we got a dragon in gray. Which dragon figure is this? Who did this one? That's not the MWO one, is it? That's throwing me for some reason. It's a good-looking dragon, though. I'd be interested to know which... Okay. I don't know why it's looking different to me for some reason. Maybe I just haven't looked... Maybe from the... But those are the same models, Waffles. Like, the exact same models. Yeah, the Hussar looks more like an official, like an IWM. I like this gray over here. This is effective. I can see all the details. Like, you don't need to do much more to this to call it done. A little bit of color here, maybe some stuff on the hull. But I mean, for the most part, you're shading and highlighting. Like, I would call that a day. I would call that a day. That's the Strato Dragon that you think. Okay, okay. Here we have from Walter's Workshop, work in progress for some dark atmosphere, cursed city vampire hunting. Well, I was going for speed, only a few hours is not bad, not 100% sold on it though, but a good learning experience. You don't have to be 100% sold on it. I can tell you right now, it's damned effective. All you really need on a figure like this, particularly something with... A lot of Warhammer figures are very Baroque. Like, they have lots and lots and lots of details, and you kind of have to argue with yourself about which ones you focus on and which ones you don't. This model is a little bit simpler, and your focal point is already kind of chosen for you, so I think hitting right here and right here, which is what you've done, is great, and then you have real, it's mostly shading the rest of the way down, and then what the fuck is this? Is this a beard? That's insane. Well highlighted though. I like the transition from kind of a warm, it looks like a maroon on this side of the base, over to a green. So we got a little bit of dirt, maybe some green stuff on the base here for some cobblestones. Very nicely done. I believe, now don't quote me on this, because I'm not as educated as some on the etymology of the two phrases. I believe that Gothic refers to a specific period of design, and Baroque would be an adjective that describes the Gothic design period. Like if you were to say, oh, this is a Gothic structure, and someone would go, what's Gothic? Oh, well, Gothic is quite Baroque. It could be a tongue. Nicely done, though, Walter's Workshop. I don't think I do, Riot Sister. Baroque refers very specifically to the quantity of detail. 40k Gothic makes me Baroque. Goatee of... Okay, it is a beard. Well, it's lovely work, Walter. And like I said, like, you have most of the mini sort of disappearing into shadow, and then you catch the edges of the faces and the eyebrows and the forehead here. This is all very smooth. You're focused on the right areas, and I think it's an incredibly effective paint job for how little time you spent on it in particular. Oh, here from Asri, last 2 models for this Mandalorian Deathwatch kill team. The blue cloth is just Pro Acryl Dark Silver and Transparent Blue. Let's go glaze over a warmer blue to filter down the metallic, but it looks so good as it is that I left it alone. That actually works nicely. I've been really impressed with this set the whole time you've been doing it, and I know I went into it last time. Like, I'm surprised how well the Mandalorian style helmet works with the old style Space Marine armor, but it just, like, it looks natural. It doesn't look like it's bolted on there, like when people do like Darth Vader Space Marines or Stormtrooper Space Marines. Severe, you taking off, man. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for submitting to the report. Guys, if you're interested in more Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings, Severe is another Twitch streamer here who has been working on it. So if you want to see some more of those models getting painted, please go give him a follow and check out his next stream. Also, there's Walter's Workshop. I guess you could follow Walter's Workshop. I don't know. That guy, yeah, you know, he streams, and I guess it's okay. It might not be for you. It's not really everybody's cup of tea. He kind of like, he just like, you look at him and you can just sort of tell that he smells, you know, like he's always kind of farting and picking his nose. It's far be it for me to cast aspersions or judgment onto really anybody. So I guess you could give Walter a follow, you know? Maybe? I don't know. Oh wait, is it his birthday? I'm being ironic. Seriously though, Walter has a fucking great stream. He is a fantastic stream, and he has such an outgoing attitude that comes across so well on stream. And in all seriousness, Walter's Workshop, happy birthday, dude. I didn't know it was your birthday today. I would have said something earlier. But, dude, have a fucking good one. If you choose to spend any of your birthday, even a little bit of your birthday with me over here, thank you so much, man. It really means a lot. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I hope you have a kick-ass dinner tonight. I hope somebody's making you some kind of cake with buttercream frosting. Judging someone's farts. How you doing, Joe? It's good to see you. I'm not judging his farts, I'm judging the quantity, not the quality of them. For the love of God. Really, though, these Mandalorian Marines, I dig. Really, really dig this whole look. I've seen, as I was saying, I've seen a lot of, like, Darth Vader Space Marines, Stormtrooper Space Marines that people have worked on. Walter's Workshop, absolutely. And I was going to say also, Walter's Workshop is another guy where if you're interested in Conquest, which we've been getting into lately, go check out Walter's Workshop. He has done at least one of the Dweghom heroes in, like, the exact style that the art was in the book. And it's like, it was such a cool project. He did such a good job on it. It's kind of fucking stupid. And then the recent, like, Pearl Brute drone that you did, that's out of control, man. That worked shockingly well. I'll be interested to see how you adapt that technique to more figures. And yeah, happy birthday, dude. That blue's nice. That blue's real nice. I'd want to see it in person. I'm not a huge fan of the metallic and glaze thing for some of my own work, but I'll say that it's real rich blue that you got on there. Damn it, that's the Pro Acryl transparent blue? I haven't used their transparents. I didn't realize they were this saturated. Look at that. This is a great set of figures. Really, this is a great set of figures. Rangonius, you have a fantastic night, dude. Thank you so much for stopping in, and thank you for hanging out. You've been here like all stream, man. Go get some sleep. Go get some sleep. I'm the only person who needs to be here this long. Damn. Really nice work, Asri, and thank you for sharing your progress on that. Here we have from Chaotic Harmony, a new base for one of my Hammerhead tanks for my own Farsight Enclave Tau. I'll be very interested to see what you wind up painting your Tau now that you're not trying to make them look like fucking pumpkin people. This is Kursala's Volcanic Flock Top on top of Astro Granite Texture Paint, and yeah, anything that comes from Kursala, by the way, you can always hit !Rainy River in chat to get a link over to the site where Kursala and Data Nerd do some amazing flocking. They do paints, they do merch for Thunderhead Studio if you want like a mug or a hoodie or something like that. They're fucking fantastic people who run a great store, so definitely go check out their paints. They're going to be having some actual sets here pretty soon too, which I'm pretty excited about. Is this all a game, or what did these characters come from? How dare you be so ignorant, Zhao? You make me sick. It's from a bunch of stuff. It's just wargaming in general. You see a lot of stuff from Warhammer 40k. You'll see a lot of stuff from Warhammer Age of Sigmar. If you're seeing me painting stuff, I've got stuff from like Warcaster, Neo-Mechanika. I've got stuff from Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings. I've got stuff from BattleTech. It's kind of a mishmash. We don't really focus on any one system here. It's all just, you know what it is ultimately? It's teeny tiny little plastic spacemen and fantasy orcs, and they kill one another, and you bash them together, and you roll dice, and you go, I killed you, and they go, no, you didn't. I rolled my dice, and they say you didn't. It's great fun. Maybe even one day an Infinity miniature. I don't know, White Wolf. We'll have to see if that happens or not. This is a nice... Chaotic Harmony, dude, your basing took a big leap recently. I don't want to say it's just because of you using Kursala's flocking. Oh yeah, there might be something to that, White Wolf. I don't want to say it's just because you started using Kursala's flocking, because you could use the flocking poorly and it wouldn't look this good. But your basing in particular, the sort of modeled coloration that you use, the different textures, the mixtures of grit. And of course, tufts are just a fantastic product, but really took a big leap recently. Like a big one. Yeah, Zhao, most of the figures you're going to see here are going to be for playable games. There'll be things that aren't. There'll be like statues and busts and just models for putting on a shelf and stuff like that. But the vast majority tend to be for war games. Really nice work, Chaotic Harmony. Well, here we have from Zacky Sack. For those interested in the bees from a couple weeks ago, you can see the queen in the upper left of the first pick. Then the second is of a brood they are tending. Interesting shot because you can see the initial brood, which are the grain of rice-looking things, and then the fat larva. We think we'll have to harvest some honey in about a month. Ooh, look at them go. This has been a fun build to follow. They've been working on this for the last few weeks, and it is an extensive hive operation. Ugh. Ugh. Look at him go. I'm glad this is working so well. It seems like they took to their new environment real well, and they are just thriving. Why don't I have a bees meme that I can play? I just suddenly realized how incredibly negligent I've been in that particular regard. Well, that is damn nice to see. And thank you so much for that. Oh, 50 Shades
Warning.
6.
Fingertips covered in superglue are not approved safety gear for handling razor blades.
I need to make a quick adjustment if we're gonna play this Chaotic Harmony. Just to my audio, because I normally Discord has audio connected, but it's not. It's just set to monitor. So let me fix that. There we go. Now, in theory, I should be able to play this for you guys. Let me know if you are getting audio or not. And let me go ahead and pause Pretzel while I'm at it.
Streamer thought there was funny voice clip.
You know, I saw the 14 seconds, and I thought to myself, it's real. It was very quiet. Do you remember the last stream when I said add some time on the end? I'm not gonna play it again. I'm not gonna play it again, Chaotic Harmony. I'm not doing it. It was very quiet, and I'm glad for that. Hang on. Let me see if it's getting through to the mixer or not.
Streamer thought there was funny voice clip.
There, that seemed like that was probably way too loud. And then it just kind of runs for 14 seconds, because last time we did this, I suggested if you leave some seconds at the end of it, I'll think that you did a real thing. And then after making that suggestion, I immediately forgot that I said that. And Touché. Nope. That I fell face first into that one, and I have literally no one to blame for myself because I'm pretty sure that was my idea. Cat of Carmony, I want you to know something. I don't forget. It's not gonna come now. It might not even come soon. You could forget about this by the time you get what's coming to you. But it's coming. And I want you to know that. So that when it happens, you can't act surprised. Not really. You'll have known the whole time. You might convince yourself. He's given up. He was kidding. It was never really that big a deal. It was all just in good fun. But it's coming. So that brings us to the end of the Storm Report, and thus to the end of tonight's stream. Did I remember to update my thing? Oh, it's all off to the side. It's all, oh, why? Why is this a thing that has happened to me? Let's go ahead and center that. Boom! Oh, it's because I made it super duper long. That's why. You weren't creative fast enough. You were like, I only have a few seconds. Let me do the same stupid joke, but again. Who are we raiding tonight, guys? We gotta raid somebody. Let's have a look. See who's on. See who is doing what. (46-2). Innocent Dictator. Well, really nobody's on. There's fucking nobody streaming right now. Being serious with me? I have 46-2. Is the only paint streamer right now. Let me see what he's doing. He's painting Tiberos the Red Wake. Well, that pretty much decides it for us. We're gonna get that raid going. Get that started up. Ladies and gentlemen, locusts and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming out today. I really do appreciate it, as I always do. This is absolutely one of the best damn communities on all of Twitch. If you're taking off for the night, stick around for just a few minutes, participate in the raid, make a little bit of noise, show 46-2 what it's like over here at Thunderhead Studio. You know, troll him and make him hate you a little bit, because that's apparently what we do to streamers now. I guess that's a thing. But really, stick around. He's got a great stream. So check it out. Oh my God, thank you guys so much. Really, thank all the we had some new follows today. I'm glad you guys came in. We had some new participants for the Storm Report. That's always exciting to see. Some really good entries. A huge thank you as always to my amazing mod team. Oh my God, Kursala, Riot Sister, you, Project Dark Fox. I don't know what I would do without. I probably wouldn't do the stream. I'd probably just sit and paint silently by myself. We're going to be back Tuesday, May the 11th, painting some Conquest in oil. Thursday, the 13th, we're going to be doing Battletech in oil. I'm putting up TBD for Sunday. Probably more Battletech. If I'm being honest, either Battletech or Warcaster. We will see. I'm going to go get something to eat. So as always, until next time, keep on painting, folks.